I remember there was a time when we was kings and queens, prophets and rulers, judging the earth. But now we stuck at the bottom of the totem pole. Where did we go wrong as a people? I think our people need to understand this with a wake-up call and give them understanding on what's going on. So bring it.
Early morning, rise up, open your eyes up, looking in the mirror, it gets no clearer. Cause we don't understand our own selves, drowning in sorrow with empty Hennessy bottles upon the shelf. Cause everybody wanna be a king, selling out their soul for this mean green cream thing. Paper chasing but not facing the facts that as a nation we all done got lax and letting the devil control us. And thinking like them damn Africans, they sold us. We in captivity because they hold us. Working hard with heavy burdens on our shoulders. Man, I thought we were some soldiers. But
Shalom Israel, shalom, shalom. Shalom. This is the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge, ISB HPK, and we welcome you to another exciting edition of class. Our school location is located in Houston, Texas, 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, zip code 77071. And also we have a school in San Antonio, and the address for the school in San Antonio is 4219 Centergate Street, San Antonio, Texas, zip code 78217. And also, we now have a school in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the address for that school is 501 Copper Ave, Northwest Albuquerque, New Mexico. 87102 is the zip code. And also, we have a school now in Trinidad. That address is Trinidad.
No, just tell them yeah, because they're building out that location. So not yet. Yeah.
So the school's address in Trinidad is to be announced. Once again, the school's address in Trinidad is to be.
They're having class. They're having class right there at the 17 Jacomar Street, Family Village, Port Fortin, Trinidad. So they're having class there. The thing is that the school that we're getting is being finished. They're, certain putting up some walls, tile, all that stuff is being finished in there.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So yeah, if you have anybody in the Trinidad area, that's the address of the school in Trinidad. It's 17 Jacomar Street. And if you have anybody in the Albuquerque, New Mexico area, the address of the school in Albuquerque is 501 Copper Ave, Northwest Albuquerque. Same thing for San Antonio, it's 4219 Centergate Street, San Antonio, Texas. And here in Houston, Texas, ours is 8424 South Braeswood Boulevard. Also coming up, we have the High Holy Day of Hanukkah coming up December 11th through the 18th. We'll be feasting, we'll be gathering together to celebrate the High Holy Day of Hanukkah, or the Feast of Lights, which you read about in 2nd Maccabees. Excuse me. And also we have the Penny Wars contest currently going on in our school here in 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, which we're winning. And the class schedule for classes here on 8524 South Braeswood is Monday through Wednesday from 7 to 10 p.m., from Fridays to 6 to 9 p.m.
Not Monday through Wednesday, Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah, Monday and Wednesday, I'm sorry, forgive me. Monday and Wednesdays we have classes from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., from Fridays to 6 to 9 p.m., and Saturday morning Shabbat class from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you're in the Houston area, we welcome you to join. I mean, the scripture says, gather yourselves together. Well, better way to come to class, get that one-on-one interaction. Just the brothers, get your questions answered as well. Participate. That way you get to participate in the prayers as well. We have kids classes every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. So that'll be great for your kids to participate in. Get them out the hustle and bustle of the world. Learn about the world's education, which is garbage. And also the classes in Trinidad is Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 10 p.m. on that address that I sent out. And it's also on Fridays from 6 to 9 p.m. and on Saturdays from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And also now we have classes in Austin, Texas. Once again, we have classes in Austin, Texas, but those the information about the classes in Austin is to be announced. So if you have anybody in the Austin area, if you yourself is in the Austin area, and you'd like to link up with somebody, if you like to congregate with the brothers in Austin, hit up Kazak, send us a message, email us, let us know, and we'll get you in contact with the brothers out in San Antonio. And also, like you're doing right now, we have live classes on YouTube, and the YouTube channel is ISBHPK. We have live classes. We've had all our classes recorded, hitting on many different topics, many different history points, many different breakdowns. It's over 500 videos on there, so you're more than welcome to check it out. I mean, there's lots of questions that get answered on these classes as well. And also, we have our cable show, which is going to be every Saturday from 8:30 p.m. It's going to be on Comcast, local channel 17. Or you can stream it live on hmstv.org. And also, just like on our YouTube channel, we have our kids classes as well. It's ISBHPK Kids, where we have pre-recorded classes for kids under the age of 12. So that'll be great for your kids. You know, put a couple videos on instead of letting them watch what's going on, you know, those cartoons on YouTube, on Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney Channel. They can actually watch something that's good for their spirit, that's actually going to build them. And also, we have we're on Blog Talk Radio now with Priest Mashaba.
We've been on Blog Talk.
We've been on Blog Talk. Well, it's blogtalkradio.com/Mashaba, and it's Monday through Friday from 9:30 a.m. and the class goes on. So if you'd like to check that out, again, it's Monday through Friday, so you can get fed in the morning with the Blog Talk, and you can get fed in the afternoon, whether watching our classes Mondays and Wednesdays, Fridays through Saturdays, or you're watching classes in Trinidad from Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you can get fed every day, twice a day, breakfast and dinner. And also, if you'd like to reach the teachers, we have Priest Kazaki right here to my left. His number is 281-707-2737. And we ask that you please only text during class, but after class, you're free to call us. You're free to call, hit them up. If you have any questions or concerns, you can email us on isbhbk@gmail.com. And also, we have our garments, the beautiful garments that you see us rocking on all our videos, street speaking, whether we're teaching. We have our custom garments being made on Israel Wear. It's on Facebook. Go on your Facebook page and go to Israel Wear on your Facebook. Check out the nice garments that are on there. Hit us up, and we can have a garment made for you. And also, we're collecting Passover garment money monthly. Again, we're collecting Passover garment monthly. So you know Passover is the Super Bowl. That's the big high holy day. So you want to come to the Passover looking nice, looking your best. So hit us up. You can get a Passover garment made. And also, the sisters work on unity garments all year round. So ask about details, and you can get a unity garment made. And also, we accept all forms of donations. It's all for your people. Like Priest Kazaki just said, we have the building. We actually have the school building now in Trinidad. It's just the tiles and the walls are being put up. So the building is being finalized, and a lot of that takes money. That takes work. So if you would like to help out in any way, any form of donation is greatly appreciated. Books, Bibles, pens, paper, apocryphas, highlighters, notebooks, dictionaries, Josephus, annotated apocryphas. It's all welcome. Cars, clothes, food, anything. And also, if you would like to shoot a donation through Wells Fargo, the Wells Fargo account is it's on there. It'll be on the screen. And also, we have a Google Wallet. The Google Wallet is isbhbk@gmail.com. So you can always donate. The Most High will bless it. But if you have any questions, now is the time for questions. So go ahead and send the questions through.
All right. Does anybody have any questions in here? Con or live? Okay. All right, we'll wait to everybody slides in here online. You know, class has been good with the questions. You know, we're not tripping on the questions. As y'all know, we're not tripping on them. We just don't get into the back and forth with idiots that want to argue online. So if you want to ask any question, know that it's all good with us. Just ask the question, all right? And we're ready to go over it. Let me send this link out real quick. That's another thing too. If y'all can like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like I always say, you can share when dealing with questions. We started putting all the questions in the bottom of the YouTube. So you can go on there and see how many questions are being answered and how we go over them. So you guys, you brothers and sisters can go on there and share those videos. So, and then we got our like you said earlier, the cable show is like more straight to the point on topics. Class is more, you get a lot more in class. Let me send this out real quick here. So if anybody got any questions now, now's the time. Yeah, what do we got, sis?
What advice can you give when one slips in faith? How can we stay strong and focused in a world full of sin and distractions?
And, you know, listen, I'm going to answer this question like I always do. You know, go to Proverbs. And it's something I was talking to a brother about the other day. And let me go to go to Proverbs 27. Proverbs, if I remember it. Proverbs 27 and 17.
Proverbs chapter.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'll get started. Go ahead, Proverbs 27 to 17.
Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17.
Uh-huh.
Iron sharpeneth iron.
Right.
So a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend.
Right. So, how are you going to get, if you're slipping in faith, you got to ask yourself, are you surrounding yourself around iron? So, I'm going to say it again. And I'm not saying we're the only school, the Israelite school. Now, if you say, well, really, I just want to, I want to deal with y'all, well, then you got to learn how, I mean, if you're in town, you got to be around brothers. You don't get sharp. I didn't get sharp. Nobody gets sharp. The Bible, the prophets, didn't get sharp until they were around the prophets. So a lot of times, a lot of brothers and sisters slip in faith because they don't understand these basic scriptures. And I'm just going to go over, just to bring them to your memory. So read it one more time.
Verse 17, Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend.
Yeah, iron sharpeneth iron. So how do you keep your countenance sharpened? How do you keep from going into that doubt, lack of faith? You know, you're around your brothers. You're around your sisters. You know, so it's very important that Israel understands that biblically, easy biblical verses, not some revelations, you know, break down overcomplicated. Easy verses like this remind us that you need your brother. You need your brother. I need my brothers. The Most High keeps me humble by having my brothers and my sisters around me, checking me, putting me in predicaments that I might not necessarily be in unless I'm around brothers. You know, you're not learning faith, patience, patience, long-suffering, kindness, charity, all the fruits of the Spirit. You're not learning that by being alone and sitting down by yourself. You learn that by using your sparring partners. So, once again, I'm not saying we're the only school. There's many schools, whatever state you're in. And I know sometimes brothers and sisters are saying that, well, I kind of don't. We get it a lot, you know, and I'm sure other camps get it about other camps. But we get the, well, I don't want to deal with anybody else right now. I'm kind of going with y'all. Well, then you got to communicate. You can text, call, counsel. You know, you got to find some way to follow the scriptures. So the scriptures say iron sharpeneth iron. And there it is. You need that brother to sharpen you. Go from there. Go 18. Matthews 18 and 20.
Matthews chapter 18 and verse 20.
Matthews 18 and 20. So if you're falling in faith, and this is answering your question, I'm answering it this way to remind you, to remind a lot of brothers and sisters, well, you're falling in faith because what you being around brothers and sisters is supposed to give you is counsel, advice, wisdom, strength, unity. That's why a lot of brothers and sisters fall in faith. We watch it all the time. We see many brothers and sisters come in, but they don't want to let their old life go. They don't want to be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. They don't want to lose their worldly connection. So they have both things going on. And it's more of a struggle now. Now you're getting the scriptures, and then when you're getting this person that's pumping in your ear, oh, that's not what you have to do. So as we're going over these basics, understand that these are not, we didn't write these down. This ain't Kazakia 1-1. These are the things that are here that we learn that are necessary to keep you strong. You know, because that brother or that sister is going to constantly help you be in the spirit, as opposed to people in the world. They're not trying to guide you. They're not trying to tell you what's right. They're not trying to, if anything, especially in the truth, they're trying to tell you why not to do it, why not to be learning, why not to be over there. Oh, you don't need them, you don't need this, you don't need that. Well, you don't need us, but the Most High brought you to us to give you the wisdom, the knowledge, and the strength. So it's all a psychological garbage game that the world plays, and you start going back and forth. We see it. They pull on you, and then, you know, you go through something, you go through a little affliction, and then there you go. You got your reason why what? Not to be around, not to follow. It's like, if I can write my own book on Israelite 101, how a young person comes in and is tried, and their faith starts to linger because they don't apply these essential things. So, 1, iron sharpeneth iron. Okay? Iron sharpeneth iron. Your brother or your sister is keeping you sharp in the spirit through counsel, advice, and wisdom. Okay? So let's go to the next one. Read it.
Matthew chapter 18 and verse 20.
Uh-huh.
For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them.
Why does it say the soldier, him got it alone? Was Christ alone? No. Paul alone? No. Peter alone? No. The apostles, were they alone? No. They had brothers. So if you let the manipulative internet and that worldly mind of I don't need nobody beat you down, then you'll be in that mind of I don't need nobody. I'm gonna do this by myself. Right. But what does the Bible say? For iron sharpeneth iron. And so do a brother, his friend's countenance, friends. I got him to rely on.
And likewise.
Right. Because that way when I'm in double-minded mode, doubtful mode,
Yes.
prideful mode, I got my brother there to check me. Go back and read your scriptures, man. Christ was there to check Peter all the time. Every time Peter stepped out of line, Christ was there like, you got a devil. He still loved him. He still said he was the rock, and on that rock he would build his church. He still set him as the head apostle, but at the same time, he had to check him. That's the real love. So we slip a lot in losing faith because we're not around strength. So read it again.
Verse 20, Matthew chapter 18, verse 20.
Go ahead.
For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name,
Go ahead.
there am I in the midst of them.
Right. There am I in the midst of them. So where is Christ? Is Christ with you when you... Yes, I know brothers are saying, well, so you're trying to say I can't be in the spirit without a brother? No. Think about how many people are so caught in the spirit without somebody there to correct them, to show them. And we talk about it all the time. You got brothers that, where do you think all these multiple doctrines and things come up? It's because somebody's not there helping that brother. And he's reading book, and adding and taking away and doing all that. And somebody's not there to say, hey, bro, you're tripping.
He doesn't have that balance.
Yeah.
All right.
So, read it one more time.
Matthew chapter 18 and verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name,
Right.
there am I in the midst of them.
There am I in the midst of them. So Christ is there where 2 or 3 are gathered. It didn't say, oh, him by his lonely. He do it dolo for show from state to state. It says where 2 or 3 is. What you got, son?
Yes, sir.
What you got?
Ecclesiastes 6 and 16.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 16. It says, a faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. The reason being why I pulled the scripture, you were asking, your question was, when someone slips in the faith, how do you restore them? That faithful friend that you're with, he's supposed to be your medicine. He's supposed to be your help. He's supposed to be your cure. So that faithful friend is supposed to restore you back into the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to give you that medicine for the spirit, which is
Right.
the word.
Mm-hmm.
So he helps to put your mind back in place. He helps to put your mind back on the path. So can I get Galatians 6 and 1 to go with it?
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
so Galatians 6 and 1. I'm going to read Ecclesiastes 6 and 16. A faithful friend is the medicine of life. But how is he the medicine? Because he does what Galatians chapter 6, verse 1 does. What it says. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness. Consider thyself, lest thou also be tempted.
So he's restoring him.
Kind.
This brother is there is helping restore you.
Kind.
You know, because and we'll go into the next step. I started here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. That's cool. You did good. That's on point. What I'm saying is that we started this way because a lot of times brothers don't understand that they keep falling back into the old man. They keep falling back into the old way. Sisters, they be falling back into the old man and old way because they don't got nobody around them that's in the spirit. They don't got nobody telling them, hey, you know what? That's wrong. That's off. You know what? That's out of the way. All you got is, in the world, people agreeing with you doing what? Oh, it's going to be all right. You know what? Let's get high. Let's smoke this. Let's pop this. Let's do this. It's going to be okay. They're not showing you and giving you the knowledge to fix your problems. See? So this is why you have to understand it this way. That man, that brother, that sister is there to restore you, to give you back that strength.
Exactly.
Right.
And also,
yeah,
if I can say too,
yeah,
a lot of times when somebody starts to slip back, when they start to step back, they're stepping back into that carnal nature.
mm-hmm.
They're starting to think carnally once again. So instead of you having a spiritual friend that's going to give you that spiritual restoration, now you're going into that carnal companion.
Yeah.
And now they're, instead of helping you, instead of restoring your spirit,
they're telling you why not is necessary.
Exactly.
They're telling you things. They're giving you examples. Right? And it's going to push you into the carnal. Remember, there was always two paths you could take according to Moses. You can go to the right hand or the left. If they're not, go to Isaiah 8 and 20. Just to throw this one in here. And then we're going to get back on this path we're on with these few scriptures. I'm going to wonder, you had a question?
I figured it out.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Isaiah 8 verse 20.
Isaiah chapter 8 verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
To the law and to the testimony.
Right.
If they speak not according to this word,
mm-hmm.
it is because there is no light in them.
Yeah, so, and that's the thing, because you're communicating and talking with individuals. And I'm not saying this is your problem. What we're doing is, you're not around us, because if you were, we can go point for point. Like, we can tell you what the brothers and sisters' problem that's around us. Oh yeah, brother, you know what? You got a lot of pride, because you got that too. You got people that are around us, and they don't want to, like the scripture says, wear out the doorsteps of the wise. I'm not going to go to them, because they're going to tell me the right thing, and it's going to hurt my feelings. I'm not going to want to do it. I'm not going to see it that way. It's always some, why not to follow that? You know, so the thing is that you got to remember that being around a strong body of brothers and sisters is supposed to lead you right back to your strength. If they're not talking about this word, cut off those dang friends. We keep trying to tell everybody. You want to connect, and you want to have this buddy in the world, this, oh, she's my friend, we've known each other. No, she's not. She's not your friend, trust me. Unless she's spilling these scriptures in wisdom. And why do I say that? Because I can talk to somebody in the world, and yes, they can give me worldly advice. Yes, they might have been there to hear me. But that's not a friend. Somebody is just there, hey, you can cry on my shoulder. A friend is someone that is going to sharpen the countenance of that brother or sister. A lot of people don't understand that. Just because they're around to hear you cry, or they were there when I had a hard time. Come, but what did they do for you? Did they lead you in the spirit, or did they lead you away further from the Most High? So you got to know what a real friend is. So the reason why we're going down this path is to show. Hold on, one second. Go to another one of my favorite scriptures, Ecclesiastes 4, right? Ecclesiastes, excuse me. Ecclesiastes, the 4th chapter. So the question was, when you're slipping in faith, and I'm going to ask you a question, the person that asked that, the brother or sister that asked that, you know, but I want to touch on these. Like, how you know you're slipping in faith? What is it that you're doing that you're saying you're slipping in faith? How are you feeling? I want to know that. While you think about that, Ecclesiastes 4, verse 9.
Can I say, just off of what you just said, can I say something on that?
Yeah.
Too? Those questions you just asked, that's that faithful friend. That's the medicine. Because now they're asking you these questions. They're picking the heart. They're picking the eye. They're pricking your mind. They're trying to see what's going on with you. What's your thought process? What are you thinking on? What's happening? What's causing this, you know? So that faithful friend, they know you. They get to know you. So now they know they know your weaknesses, and they know your strengths. So if they see you slipping, they're like, oh man, are you going back into that weakness?
Right.
Are you going back into that weak mind state?
Right. There you go.
So yeah, man, Ecclesiastes chapter 4, where you're going 4 verse 9.
It's going to answer.
It's going to answer.
Go ahead, read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 9.
Uh-huh.
2 are better than 1.
What?
2 are better than 1.
And I know a lot of people don't understand this. You're like, well, why is he answering the question this way pertaining to lacking in faith? Because really, a lot of brothers and sisters start losing faith a lot of times. It's either 2 reasons. 2 reasons. It's one, they're not around somebody that's strengthening them. They're not around somebody that's building them. Just put that over there. They're not around somebody that's strengthening them or building them. Yeah. And 2, they are around somebody that's strengthening and building them, and they don't want to hear what the strength and wisdom is. It's one way or the other. That's it. It's simple. You know, because if you have brothers and sisters around, then you should be getting the wisdom and strength to be strong. You should be getting the wisdom and knowledge to be strong. Okay, so read it again. Read that 4:9.
Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 4, verse 9.
Right.
2 are better than 1.
Right.
Because they have a good reward for their labor.
Right, and as you see, this is a common theme in the Bible. That constantly the Most High said, where 2 or 3 is, there is Christ. Right, then we're going to go to one more after this. Go ahead.
Verse 10. For if they fall, the one will look up his fellow.
Right, see? That's why you're there. That's why, now hold that. Go to Hebrews. Go to Hebrews, hold that. Don't let that go. Keep your finger there. Hebrews, what is it? Hebrews, the bruise. I think it's
Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 25.
10:25. There you go. Go to Hebrews 10:25 and read that one real quick. If you read Hebrews 10:25, you're going to go back to Ecclesiastes. Go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 25.
Uh-huh.
Not forsaking the assembling of yourselves together.
Right.
As the manner of some is.
Right. You see? Now, why? Go ahead.
But exhorting one another.
But doing what?
Exhorting one another.
Galatians 6 verse 1 said you were going to restore him. You were going to restore that spirit that's weak. Go ahead.
And so much the more.
Right. Wait. Let up on him.
And so much the more.
Oh, draw back on him.
And so much the more.
And that's what brothers and sisters don't understand. That's why, just today I was talking about this in the text, in our little camp text, is that you got a lot of Israelites that don't understand that why all these schools are here. Because you're going to be accountable for what you know. You're not going to be able to say, you know what, I didn't know. Whatever school you go into, you're going to be taught the law, you're going to be taught the scriptures, and you're going to be accountable for what you know. You should be being taught the fruits of the Spirit with the law. And you're going to be accountable for what you know. So the Most High has made it easy for nobody to say, well, you know what, because I seen imperfections in this person, that's why I didn't want to do the will of the Most High. That's not going to work. Everything is set up for your service to build y'all in the Spirit and to keep you moving forward in the Spirit. But you got to accept it, though. You got to accept the wisdom. You got to accept the word. You got to accept the knowledge. So if you're falling in faith, like we got some brothers and sisters in here, we see them, but once again, we're not a cult, so we can't do what? We can't tie you down, show up at your house with a gun in your face. You're going to be a Hebrew Israelite if I say so. You ain't going to get that. You're going to get the advice, the wisdom when you come to class, and we can't force it, right? One plant, one water, if the Most High give the increase. So if you're not being increased, well, why? Because wisdom will not enter a malicious spirit. You're constantly supposed to be an increase in the spirit. This word is supposed to be increasing you. Your mind, your spirit, your thoughts, your health, your outlook, your feelings, your emotions. You're supposed to be gaining control on all these things. That's what the Most High is doing for you. Okay? So finish reading. Go ahead.
As ye see the day, as ye see the day approaching.
You see that? So we're constantly there for our brothers and our sisters more and more as we see the what?
The day approaching.
Right? So what does it say from the top? Read it again.
Not forsaking the assembling of yourselves together.
See? Why? Because Zaki said, so I got to go over there and be over there? No, not because I say or any school says. It's because the Most High said. Why? Go back.
Verse 9, verse 10.
And you're going to stay there. Go ahead.
Second precept. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth.
What?
Woe to him.
Destruction. What?
To him that is alone when he falleth.
Because when you fall, read.
For he hath not another to help him up.
So what are we supposed to be doing? Read.
Not forsaking the assembling of yourselves together.
Go ahead.
As the manner of some is.
As the manner of some is. See, we know what's out there, but the ones that's forsaking the unity, there is a destruction. Because woe to him that is left alone. He won't have that brother or sister to restore them. To say, hey, listen, this is why you're falling. This is why you're going off. Because even now, we can answer questions in general. But really, if you want to go to the doctor, you got to know, like a lot of people call, they don't tell the full story. A lot of people ask questions, they don't tell the full story. And you try to help them as much as they can, but really you need to be working with a teacher, a priest, a doctor to be able to heal that spirit correctly and get the medicine that's needed. So yeah, we can help, but it's better when you're there and a brother just say, nah, you know what? This is really your problem. This is what's going on. So we don't forsake the assemblies of ourselves. We have those brothers and sisters doing the work in unity, right, as a body. Go ahead.
As the manner of some is,
right,
but exhorting one another.
And because that's what's going to be happening. We're exhorting one another. Go ahead.
And so much the more.
And how much the more?
So much the more.
Read.
As ye see the day approaching.
Yeah, while everybody else is pulling back and going back to deal with the world and their worldly mind, the ones that believe, we're going to be hunkering down in unity, in brotherhood, and learning why he's saying this. You can try to make us look crazy all you want. Nigga, you insane. You understand? And you know why I'm saying that? Because you get all those people like, so I got to be over there, so why you over there with them? Because we're going to get your mind right in the spirit while they're going to have you doing what? Drawing back to the vomit.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have you going back to the world, and you're going to be sitting back on the couch at your mediocre job with your mediocre rib, having that mediocre spirit, and right back entangled with the things of this world.
It's getting worse and worse.
Worse and worse.
Right.
But what we're going to have to do, we're going to light a fire up under you and keep pushing you in the spirit.
Oh, man.
We're going to push you in the spirit because that's what this knowledge is for, to keep us moving forward in the spirit. Finish that.
And so much the more, as ye see the day approaching.
Read.
For if we sin willfully.
Right, so go from there, finish that up in 9.
Verse 10. Oh, verse 10.
Go ahead.
For he had not another to help him up.
Right, so this is why we're around, and this is why a lot of brothers and sisters fall in faith. Go ahead.
Oh, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Again, the two lie together.
Right.
Then they have heat.
Right, so he's reiterating. It's beautiful when you have a wife there, a husband there, right? Because you got heat, right? It's showing you it's needed. If you're on the mountain and you by yourself, guess what? You freezing to death. But when you see those two people hunker up and warm each other up to live, that's called unity. That's called love, right? That's what the Most High establishes. Go ahead.
But how can one be warm alone?
Go ahead.
And if one prevail against him,
two
shall withstand him.
Why?
And
because Kazakio or ISBHBK came up with, we supposed to kumbaya in one place? No. wherever you're at, you're supposed to be joining in with the sons of the prophets and getting your mind right, because those prophets are there to check one another, just like you did back in the days, man. You hanged out with your crew and what? You grew up together and you what? Hang around with them, you knew each other. This is what that camaraderie's for, that unity's for that brother or sister to keep you in line. So read on. Go ahead, read on.
And a threefold cord.
Read it again.
And a threefold cord is not quickly broken.
See, so unity, body, brotherhood is needed. And that's going to help you a lot from falling in to that doubt, the pride, the lust, the unsureness. So that's one aspect. That's one aspect. I'm not saying that answered your question. That's just one aspect. So let's get deeper into what the problem is when you tell us, well, why you feel that way, or you're losing faith. You see that? But that's just one aspect. But you have to know that, because a lot of brothers think they can do it by themselves. A lot of sisters think they can do it by themselves. Scripture say, Scripture say, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. Right? So let's see what else they say on that point.
Oh, can I say one thing too?
Yeah.
Man, I remember this question is so dope because remember how I used to be. Mm-hmm. I'm a loner. So I'd rather not be around people. I used to be socially awkward. So just being around a lot of things have come off of me. But like, I wanted to point out a couple examples of just me being around. I used to drink a lot of Tampico, which has high fructose corn syrup. I drink a whole bottle of that, the big one, in 2 days. I used to drink that and not water. So I used to get really bad chest pains. And just me being around, I was in class one day before class started, and I mentioned that. And Shara was like, oh, bro, you're going to die. You're going to kill yourself. You're going to catch diabetes, you're going to die. It has high fructose corn syrup. That was my first time hearing about high fructose corn syrup. So did my research on it. It's bad. So now I don't drink anything with high fructose corn syrup. My chest pains has been gone ever since. Mm-hmm. So that's just one example of me. It's small, but just like that, my health is way better just because I was around and somebody, you know what I mean? Somebody in the spirit was like, look, do this, don't do this, it's gonna kill you. Mm-hmm. But out in the world, that's all my parents bought me. Now you can say your family loves you, your parents love you, but they don't know. They're void of wisdom. So they don't even know that. They might know, but they probably don't even care. So they used to buy that for me since I was young coming up, and I used to drink it. And I mean, I've had high blood pressure since I was like in middle school. And now I see why. Damn Tampico. And I was just in class when they mentioned communicating with the people around that's in the spirit, and they showed me something beneficial for my health.
Yeah, but you know, and that's mediocre to small-minded people. Like, a lot of people don't understand, you know, like it's things like that, you know, and how we get these young-minded men in here for them to see that. It's just being around. You can hear a conversation. And it don't have to be every second and minute, hour that you're speaking spiritual, but just in conversation, you start to see things and hear things. And those things start to help you out more. That's why the communication has to be in the spirit. It has to be about the Most High. It has to be about growth in the spirit. So, which I know a lot of young people come in and people that don't want that, they like, this is too much. But that too much is what is going to keep your mind consistent in the spirit. Just like you got too much of the world and it's keeping you what? Consistent in the flesh. Consistent in the carnal. So go to Ecclesiasticus 40, verse 24.
No.
He came back. All right, what did he say while we get this one?
He said, well, you hit the nail on the head, because all my close friends I've grown up with are not interested in the truth and reject it.
Right.
Sometimes I feel lost or staggered in the truth on my own.
There you go. There you go. And remember, write the scriptures down. It's I'm going to say it and I say it again because we get these ridiculous knuckleheads over here in Houston that are lazy as hell, lazy-minded, and that is grown up with their mama. So they refuse that brotherhood and unity. They don't want to hear that. They rather be tucked up under some nipple or tucked up under some worldly theme. And I'm not going to say just Houston. We got a lot of brothers, our brothers and sisters everywhere that just rather be alone and left alone. You know, like Rob said. And one of the commandments is, we just read it, forsaking not the assemblies of yourself together. There you go. Right? How else are you going to go to 1 Corinthians 1 and 10? And then we're going to go to the back to that Ecclesiastes 40 verse 24. 1 Corinthians 1 and 10. Yeah, man, you need to start pulling away. And we'll touch on some of those though. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that ye all speak the same thing.
That ye what?
All speak the same thing.
Go ahead.
And that there be no divisions among you.
Right. So who are you joined with? You know, what mind state are you joined with? Right? What brothers are you joined with? So real quick before we transition to the next point, read that Ecclesiastes 40 verse 24.
Ecclesiastes chapter 40 verse 24.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Right?
Brethren in help are against time of trouble.
There you go. You need a brother. You need a brother. You need a real brother. How do you get a real brother? One that's going to sit down and teach you and show you through the scriptures how to stay strong, how to stay consistent. And it takes you having to do the next point, which is what you asked, which is go to Amos 3 and 3. So, how do we get that, brother? Right? Go to Amos 3 and 3.
Amos chapter 3 and verse 3.
Okay. Just real quick, as we go into this next point, go ahead.
Amos chapter 3 verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Can two walk together except they be agreed?
There you go. Can two walk together except they be agreed? I know this bores in people's head, like they hear the scripture, this is bores in their brain, like that scripture haunts brothers and sisters. Why? Because you know you don't agree. And the sad thing is that that's the crystal ball. The crystal ball is you're looking through the scriptures, you know what it says, but you don't agree. And then you're just around with that don't agree mind. You know the outcome. A kingdom divided against itself will not stand. It'll be there for a second, but it won't stand in the future. So it has to be some agreement. You have to know that these people you're around, are they agreeing with the knowledge? Are they locking into the word? Right? Go to 1 Corinthians. Go to 1 Corinthians. Go to 1 Corinthians. Real quick. 1 Corinthians. You gotta hold that Ecclesiastes, the other Ecclesiastes. Go to 1 Corinthians. Let's see here. It's let us get it really quick. 6 and 14? Right, 6 and 19. 6 and 14? 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 6.
Verse 14.
Right. And 14. 2 Corinthians 6 and 14.
2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14.
Uh-huh.
Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
Why? Because can two walk together, at least they be agreed. What is your conversation going to be about? Come on, man. Common sense. What are you talking about? Your mind is transitioning from that carnal mind. So the things you're talking about is not even interesting no more because you're not being carnal minded. You're trying to transition from that carnal mind to the spiritual. So, you know, I know it hurts people's feelings, but yeah, friends, family, remember, the Most High is going to divide. So you got to learn how to love it and understand why the Most High is doing it. Read it again.
Verse 14 from the top. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
And you know why it says unequally yoked? Because the thing is, the unequal is like you're still trying to give them majority of your time. It's like you just said about your aunt and your, who was it?
My mom.
Your aunt and your mom. Like, you don't got time for that no more, right?
Nah.
Why? Because, and then when you do, what is it about? I'm going to go ahead and spend 5-10 minutes. Yeah, Mom, how you doing? Whoop-de-whoop. World. Yeah, everything's good. Let me be about my Father's business, right?
Gone.
Why? Because they can't really get in a real conversation with you to elevate your mind anymore. They can't. What is the world going to talk to you about to elevate your mind? When's the last person in the world that gave you something deeper than the knowledge of the Most High? You're like, the things you talk about with them, you're solving their problems. They're like, yeah, and this and this and this, and you're like, database, scriptures, and you're like, yeah, this because this scripture, this scripture, this scripture. You're like, you can't talk to them about problems because you're helping them. So you can't be unequally yoked together with unbelievers. Go ahead.
For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness?
Go ahead.
And what communion hath light with darkness?
There you go. What communion? So it's going to be a division made. Now, let me say this. I'm not saying burn bridges. Because, you know, you don't have to burn bridges. You don't have to go in and make them hate you and all that. That separation is already being made spiritually. You know, you just start fading to the back. Well, hey, man, I ain't seen you around no more. Well, I'm over here at class. Oh, I'm over here passing out flyers. I'm over here. What do you mean class? What class? Oh, I'm learning this Bible. Oh, yeah, I ain't down with that. Yeah, man, you got to, bro, check this out. You check. Oh, man, all right, man, I'll talk to you. All right, bro, I'll talk to you too. That's how it be. Hey, man, what you been up? Because that's what the world is really about. Man, what's going on with you? They don't really want to know what's going on with you. Stop it. You know what I mean? Yeah, what do they call it? Small talk? Small talk, American talk is fake talk. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I really don't give a damn. I'm just asking to get past the airspace in the moment of time. I really don't care. That's real. Yep. Hey, you know what I mean? You're like, what are they going to talk to you about? Right? What are we going to talk about? And I'm not saying you're not going to sympathize and you're not going to have dinner and you're not going to go see your mom. What I'm saying is that really they can't feed you. They can't feed your mind because you're on a different food now. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And what concord hath Christ with
Baal?
With Baal. And what part hath he that believeth with an infidel?
So, yeah, what concord had Christ with Satan? Baal, Peor, those are all just forms of idol worship, Satan, right? Infidel, a believer with an unbeliever. Go ahead.
And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols?
Nothing. So the pulling apart, the severing Christ is doing. And when you come to understand that, then you can be freed of that burden and you got to be ready to lose. You have to be ready to lose. So why are you hanging around with those people still? Because all they're going to do is keep you in the world and keep you in the worldly mind. Right? Where are we at? Ecclesiastes what?
Ecclesiastes chapter 13 and verse 16.
Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha 13, let me see real quick. Let me get there. 13 verse 16, verse 15. Go ahead.
Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor.
Go ahead.
All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like.
There you go. Right? So a man will cleave to his like. What are you liking about? You before it was drugs, blunts, and 40s. Now you're not on that. So you can't conversate about that. Same thing with a woman. You get with a woman and she's into Instagram and Facebook and showing her body. Like, you're not gonna waste a lot of time with that. That's not your mind. That's not your state of mind. Go ahead.
Verse 17. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb?
Read it again.
What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb?
That's the truth, man. You don't. You have no fellowship. The wolf will overcome you. He said, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Right? I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. So you're the sheep and they're the wolves. Right? Why? Because their lifestyle is to manipulate and bring you back to them. To bring you back and entangle you back. And we're going to get that one too. So you got to understand, I can't deal with that. Now, you're strong enough. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know that when I go around my mom, my family, my friends, well, I don't have no friends. I just said that. My friends are the brothers and sisters. My friends are brothers and sisters in the truth. I got no, my family is, hey, I see you on Facebook. How you doing? That's it. I hit you up. Hey, shalom, how you doing? Keep it moving. Why? Because we stay busy. We don't got time to chat around and play video games and sit down and not do anything. We're busy. Go ahead.
God. What agreement is there between the hyena and a dog?
Right. There you go. What agreement? There's not. A hyena's going to rip there's going to be a war. Those hyenas are vicious. Yeah. Go ahead.
And what peace between the rich and the poor?
There you go. Even he shows you about that. Go ahead.
As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor.
There you go. Go ahead.
As the proud hate humility, so doth the rich abhor the poor.
As the proud hate humility. You see this? The Most High makes he's pulling you and separating you. He's separating you. So go ahead to the one you were saying.
Give me a Luke chapter 12 and verse 51. Luke chapter 12 and verse 51. This is just what the brothers is talking about, because Christ is bringing out right now division. He's separating the clean from the unclean. He wants you. He wants you why? To educate his people. But give me that. Luke chapter 12 and verse 51.
Luke chapter 12 verse 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth.
Read that again.
Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth.
Because everybody thinks that Christ is coming back to bring peace.
Or that when he came to give peace.
Right. Like that was his doctrine of peace. Everybody's going to be living well together. We're going to be able to go out on picnics together and enjoy each other's company. Not at all. Read.
I tell you, nay, but rather division.
He said what?
But rather division.
Yeah, Christ said, hell no. He said, nay, I'm bringing division. He's bringing division once again for those that he chose and those that he did not choose. And that's one of the hardest things, or the hardest pill that we have to swallow, is that we have to understand that everybody will not be saved. Yeah. That everybody will not agree the path that we're going on. The path that Christ and the Most High have chose us to be on, everybody's not going to be on that path. Read that again from the top.
Verse 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth.
Read.
I tell you, nay, but rather division.
Yeah, he's bringing division to uplift you, to give you the knowledge. He's getting you away from all the distractions. Once again, everybody in this world is sluggards. All they worry about is TV, food, Netflix, and money. That's it. But when you come to these scriptures and you read this Bible, it's about our people. It's about Israel. It's about waking them up to the knowledge and understanding. And the only way for that to happen is for you to slide on over, get with the brothers that's doing the work, and dig in.
Yep. Yes, sir. Proverbs 29:27. Proverbs 29, verse 7. Give me the one in Ezekiel that says making a difference between clean and the unclean.
Proverbs chapter 29, verse 27.
Proverbs 29:27. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 27. An unjust man is an abomination to the just.
Read it again.
An unjust man is an abomination to the just.
An unjust man is abomination to the just. So what's happening is here. You're starting to see that lifestyle, that worldly mind is filthy. It's nasty. It's ugly. It's dirty. I don't want no part of it. So that's where the division is being made. So you got to understand that here's how it works. You're either going to overcome them or they're going to overcome you. And that's how it works. You're going to be overcome with good, or they're going to overcome you with evil. Right?
All right.
Go ahead. Where are you at? You got that one? Where is it real quick?
It's Ezekiel 44 and verse 23.
Yeah. Ezekiel 44 and 23.
Ezekiel chapter 44 and verse 23. Say comment if you have it.
All right.
Right. Okay, we're still waiting. Ezekiel chapter 44 and verse 23. All right. Ezekiel chapter 44 and verse 23. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean.
Right. So what is the Most High doing? He's putting a difference between the clean and the unclean. So it's going to be a division. It's going to be a separation. And I mean, this jumps into another point. I mean, we could keep going because there's levels and tiers. When you move from one step, you move to the next. Because the next step is, as the division is being created, you get a lot of people that don't want to lose. They don't want to lose family, friends, and they don't want to lose their old life. So, he that gain his life shall lose it. He that loses his life for Christ's sake shall find it. So, you got to understand that that's what the Most High is doing to you. He's separating you. Yeah.
Can I get Ecclesiastes chapter 16 and verse 16? Just for that separation. Ecclesiastes chapter 16 and verse 16.
Oh, okay.
Speaking on
we're moving too fast. We'll slow it down. I know these scriptures, man. Just write them down. One thing y'all got to do is write the scriptures down. Make a topic. Make sure you point over the topic. Like, ever since we started from Amos 3 and 3, all those scriptures on down should be talking about the division that's made. The Most High separating you. And when you go back up, those scriptures are talking about, you should be titling those scriptures, the Most High, why two or more are needed. Yeah. See, you gotta take good notes, because if not, it'll just be a pile of scriptures. All right, so we'll slow it down a little bit. Where you at?
Ecclesiastes chapter 16, verse 16.
Right, go ahead.
His mercy is manifest to every creature.
See, the Most High's mercy, the Most High's word, this word, it was manifested to everybody. So it's manifested to your friends, your families, your companions, your co-workers, everybody. And you, now learning the word, you've been manifesting it to your friends, teaching them. But they're not with that, right? Keep reading.
And he have separated his light from darkness.
So he separated you from the darkness. So you're the light, that's now separated from them. They're in darkness. And he separated you from them. But what did he separate you from them with? Finish it?
With an adamant.
With an adamant. Now the definition of adamant is it's a sharp stone. An adamant is a very hard or impenetrable stone. A name given to the diamond and other substances of extreme hardness. So the Most High used a very sharp sword or a very sharp adamant, a very sharp stone to make that division. So now you're that light and you're divided from the darkness.
Where you at?
This is Ecclesiastes 16 and 16.
16:16, right, okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, read from the top though.
His mercy is manifest to every creature.
So something to think about too with you being separated from them. Because it's either you're now the light and they're the darkness. So with you being separated from them, you're either going to choose to roll with the Most High or you're going to choose to go back with them. You're going to choose to keep rolling with the light and leave the darkness behind, or you're going to choose to walk away from the light and go back to the darkness. Because the Most High's word is manifested to every creature. So they know, they heard it, but they just made the choice that I'm not going to roll with it.
Yeah, give me Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 26 right on that point. Because once again, the Most High is bringing in a difference. He's showing the difference to you. You know, from the light to the darkness. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 26. Get that.
Verse 26.
Read.
Proverbs chapter 12, verse 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor.
See, the Most High has handpicked you. Read that again.
The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor.
It said the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. The Most High has seen some attributes in you. Well, really, he's been seeing you. He chose you from the foundation of the earth.
Right.
But you're more righteous than what?
Than his neighbor.
Yeah, you're more righteous than your friends, your family members, because that's basically the bottom line about it. The Most High has seen you and is choosing you to take you out of your environment, your family members. Once again, he's bringing a division from the clean to the unclean. You know, and a lot of people have to understand that this is actually, they should be appreciative of what's going on, what the Most High is doing. Read that again.
The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor.
It says more excellent, not to be headstrong, but the Most High has endowed you with wisdom from this Bible to even understand that you think that you've fallen off. But the thing about it is that he's trying to separate you, not in some type of, I can't deal with them anymore. Well, you really can't deal with them, but in a sense of getting yourself right to where you can come back and teach them.
Yeah, it's not like, I'm better than them.
Right.
I look down to them, but it's understanding that with the wisdom of the Most High, he's just elevating your mind. Your thought process is going to be different. Your feelings are going to be different. Your outlook is going to be different. Your judgment, your insight, everything is starting to be different. So it's going to separate you, whether you like it or not. All right. That was a good one right there. Yeah.
I hit this verse 25. I wanted to hit it earlier.
Go ahead.
Verse 25.
I got it. 12 to 25?
Yes, sir.
Heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stoop.
And this one, you could put this for your notes before we went into the dividing section. But this you could put for the 2 and 2. It says, read it from the top.
Heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stoop.
So heaviness in your mind is gonna bring you down. So that's why you're asking the question now. Why, when someone slips in the faith, how do you restore them back? You're slipping because your mind is heavy. So because your mind is heavy, you gotta be around people that's gonna actually be able to bring your mind back to where it needs to be. It says, heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stoop, but a good word maketh it glad. So when your mind is down, when you're depressed, when you're stressing, you're supposed to get a good word from your friend, from your brother, from your sister. That's gonna make you glad again. But what's that good word? It says that if they speak not of this word, there is no light in them. So this is the good word. So if you're around people that can't give you a good word, if they can't give you the word, that's not the people you want to be around. I mean, they can't help you in the spirit. You can help them, but they can't help you in the spirit. You have to be around somebody that's going to be able to help you in the spirit.
Like we went over, iron sharpeneth iron. Iron sharpeneth iron. All right. Good. Hopefully we did help, brother. What other? We got any other questions before you go into this class?
We have one.
Go ahead. What we got? Oh, I'm sorry.
It says, I agree with all you've stated thus far. Okay, it says, I am encouraged that you are of the ministry of sharing the truth. I am doing my best to keep my faithful, especially in regards to the Sabbath proper. Okay, it's not a question.
Okay. What other question we got on there?
God, what's Jerusalem's real name? If the letter J didn't come into the picture until later.
It's Yarashalom. Hebrew is Yerushalayim. Yarashalayim. Yeah. Well, any other questions?
It says, Israelites have the whole world in their hands. Tell me why they did not take hold of it.
Who? All right, what are you talking about? For when? For what time? Are you talking about or referring to like Ezra said? Like the Most High gave them power, chose us? Or like be a little more specific what you're talking about. So, you know, because we can go anywhere from that. A little more specific. These are a good question though, this brother got. You know, but like I said, you know, we touched it on from that perspective, you know, but there's a lot of reasons brothers and sisters lose faith. You know, we just gotta know, you know, what it is, what's defiling you and pulling you back into the worldly mind. What did he say?
He says, I have a cousin in the truth, but he is a super brew.
Okay, but
He hasn't responded.
oh, he hasn't responded yet? Yeah. Yeah, and to the super brews, it just, brothers need to, you know, give them a little time. Experience will teach him. You know, hopefully those brothers around him, or whoever he's around, will teach him and show him he needs to balance it out. Right? We got anything? Did he hit us back yet? All right, we're waiting back for your question, bro. About what was the question we're waiting back for? The one you just read before that. No, not Jerusalem. The one that we're waiting for the question on.
Israelites had the world in their hands. Tell me why they did not take hold of it.
Right. We want you to get a little more specific on that. If you want to do that, then we can hit you right back. Okay? Hit us back. Let us know. So if not, we're going to move on. We're going to move on.
We have 3 other questions.
Where does he got?
Someone asked, if we are unknowingly chipped, are we to be condemned?
Unknowingly chipped? What do you mean unknowingly chipped? Like chip with the microchip? Like nobody should be unknowingly chipped. You have to go do that. That's a process. Now, if it comes time to where they're trying to chip our kids or something like that, you know, you got to remember, man, this is a kingdom of iron and clay. So everything that that they promote and push, there's a way out. So there's going to be a way out if that time comes, you know, and the Most High is going to make a way out for the righteous. But nobody should be chipped unknowingly. Like, that ain't happening yet. So, you know, Unchip yourself if you are. What else is?
They ask, what is the mark of God on his people? Is it the Sabbath? That's 2 questions.
What?
What is the mark
Go ahead and you read it. You read it. All right.
It says, what is the mark of God on his people? Is it the Sabbath? But then he came back and said, some say the mark of the beast is a viral chip type of microchips. If someone is forcibly microchipped and not permitted to keep Sabbath, do you think they are of the beast system?
All right, it's actually 3 questions. So let's say, what is the mark of God on his people? That's 1 question.
Oh, okay. It's 3 questions.
Yeah, and then she comes back and asks, is it the Sabbath? Like right now, is it the Sabbath?
Oh, I got it. Okay. So what's the first question?
The first question is, what is the mark of God on his people?
The mark of God is the word, the seal. So you can go to Ezekiel 9 and 4. And then you can go to Ephesians. All right, and then we'll go to the next one. The mark of God is the word. Okay, so go to Ezekiel 9 and 4 real quick.
Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4.
Right, and then we'll go to Ephesians
1 and 13.
Right.
So Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Right. So he said there's going to be a people that are not down with Babylon the great whore, right? The ideas of this kingdom. There's going to be a people that are not down with that. Okay? The chosen. Right? The 144,000. Go ahead.
And to the others, he said in my hearing.
Right. So he said, go put a mark on the foreheads. How are we going to determine who this mark was going to be on? Because they were going to be sighing and crying against the abominations done in America. Okay? So that mark is the knowledge. It's the word. Because the only thing that gives us the true knowledge to cry against the lies is think about how many Black Panther movement groups. Think about Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, who else? Martin Luther King, right? These guys, they were movements, but how come it never really moved in the spirit of the Most High? Because they never really pushed this word. So what was going to make us cry out and be separate and cry out for the abominations done in the midst thereof, which is the word? Okay? Jump from there, go to Ephesians. And it's going to go further into that. What is that mark or the seal of the Most High? Go ahead.
Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 13. In whom ye also trusted.
Right? So it's talking about Christ. We trusted in Christ. We trusted in the Most High. Go ahead.
After that ye have heard the word of truth.
Go ahead. So 2 things. You have faith. You trusted after you heard the word of truth. Go ahead.
The gospel of your salvation. In whom also after that ye believed.
Right. So what happened was after that we believed. We heard the word of truth. We had faith first of all, foremost. Then we heard the word of truth. Then you believe. Go ahead.
Ye were sealed with that Holy Spirit of promise.
Right. So that mark that's going to separate us from the world, and we're going to be crying against the filth and abomination and lies of America, this kingdom, and all the other kingdoms also, was the seal of the Most High. It was the word of the Most High. Okay. Go to Ephesians 4. Let me see. Ephesians 4. Let me see here. and 30. You throw that one in there. Ephesians 4 and 30.
Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 30.
Uh-huh.
And grieve not the Holy Spirit of God.
Right.
Whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption.
Right. So the seal or the mark is the Holy Spirit. All right. Which is going to separate us from the world and really keep that hurt, harm away from us. One more. One more. Let me see. Yeah, 2 Timothy 2:19.
Second Timothy chapter 2 and verse 19.
Uh-huh.
Nevertheless, the foundation of God standeth sure,
Uh-huh.
having this seal, the Lord knoweth them that are his.
Uh-huh.
And let every one that nameth the name of Christ depart from iniquity.
And that's the seal of the Most High. Okay? So, or the mark in their foreheads, it just means their mind, speaking of the knowledge. Okay, so what was the next one? Is it the Sabbath? Yes, it's the Sabbath. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown is the Shabbat. Okay? So the Most High said, keep that day holy. What else? What was the other one?
She was asking. She said, some say the mark of the beast is the verichip type of microchips. If someone is forcibly microchipped and not permitted to keep Sabbath, do you think they are of the beast system?
Okay, so we touched on this just the other day. That's part of the mark of the beast, the chip. But that's not it. Okay? You can't get it twisted. That's not it. Think about it, because right now you buy and sell what your Samsung pay. Right? You buy and sell what your Apple pay. Right? You have chips in your phones. You have chips in your
TVs.
Yeah, your TVs. You have chips in your little grocery store devices. So that's part of it. Okay? Yeah, we know it's going to get to where they want to actually put the little chip in your hand, and we went over this, that's why, I'm reluctant, because we keep going over the same topic, and I know a lot of people are getting bored with that. So we'll send you the video. We just went over this the other day about the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is just not just the chip. It's the chip and more. All right? I have to say it that way because you get some ignorance. Oh, y'all gonna get the chip? Like, you're not listening. No, don't get the chip. But it's the chip and more, the mark of the beast. Remember, if the scriptures say the mark of the Most High was in our minds, it was the thing that sealed us. Okay? Now, is there a mark that got to be on your foreheads? Right? No, that's symbolism. It's symbolically speaking of them controlling your thoughts, your mind, your spirit. So you don't need a chip to do that. You have a lot of our people influenced by America think they will die, they will stand up, they will become a police officer, they will join the military, they will vote. They believe in this system. Right? Like we were talking about the other day when the Jamaican guy said, if it came down to Christ telling me something against Trump, he said, I will go ask Trump if it's true. So, you're trying to tell me he ain't got the mark of the beast? Hell yeah, he got the mark of the beast. He's one with the beast. So, what our people are not understanding is that, once again, for them that are slow, Because when we talk about this topic, people they don't get it. Don't get the chip. But that's not the only thing. When you become a faggot, a homosexual, a drug dealer, you're down with the beast. You understand? You're down with the beast. When you believe in this system and uphold their ideas and do the works, you have that in your mind and in your hand. You don't need an actual chip. All right, did I say enough that don't get the chip? Does everybody got that? All right, okay. All right, because some people, man, so y'all saying, I'm like, stop it. Y'all need to listen, man. But scripturally, you have to see, like, there's no, when we were sealed, it wasn't an actual seal, physical seal that we had to have on our body or our mind. The seal was the Spirit. So it's symbolic when it tells you in Revelations there was going to be a mark in their foreheads and a mark in their hand. Okay? One more time. Not saying go get the chip. All right. Just get that out there. What else they got on the questions?
What was Cain marked with?
Cain was marked with leprosy. Okay? The only thing that was going to divide and for anybody to look on Cain and be able to see that he was different than everybody was leprosy. Right? So, what else? What else we got? Because we'll keep going with that one right there. I'm not going to run with that. We can go over that in its entirety with a class on Cain. Yeah.
Can I say also when the lady that asked about the chip, we have a cable show.
Yeah.
On about the chip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yes. Yeah, we can center it too.
Con, I sent it.
You sent it? Okay. So we put the link in there about the mark of the beast, and kind of like we went over a whole thing about that on class. You know, even after that, I had to constantly repeat, "Don't get the chip." You know, is not the chip. But people were thinking, I could be a drug dealer, I could support America, I could believe in America, but as long as I don't got the chip, I don't got the mark of the beast, that's BS. You know what I mean? That's BS. Okay? So, what else we got?
why are so many of our brothers and sisters strung up on Egyptology, Kemet? What are your views on those stupid Senator TV debates? They create so much confusion among our people.
We did a show on it. Like, some of the questions you're asking is kind of like typical internet questions. So we've addressed a lot of these things. So we get you the link for that. You know, first of all, for the black man to think he's African still is he doesn't understand his history. You can actually go to the so-called Africans or the sons of Ham and ask them, are we brothers? They will tell you, no, we're not.
Right. Ooh, you're a kata.
Yeah, you're a cotton picker. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what they say. So, they know they're a different nation. Now, I mean, what do we believe about it? I mean, how do we feel about it? They're lost, like all of our brothers and sisters, that whatever we're dealing with religions and philosophies and the Masons and whatever Illuminati, demonic worship, they're lost. You know, but listen, fret not, a lot of them are waking up too. You see a lot of them online, they're waking up to see the true history. That the Africans and the Arabs sold the so-called Negroes into slavery. Just because you're a dark-skinned people don't mean we're the same nation. Remember, Noah was black, and he had 3 black sons. So everybody that came from Noah was dark-skinned. All the way till you had, until Esau and Jacob. And then Esau was red, because his blood showed forth through his skin. He was leprous, but he was a clean leper. Okay? So, yeah. I mean, our brothers in Egyptology, they're lost, man. But we really touched on that. We touched on a lot of points on that. Historically, we've given a lot of information on that. We did a real good show that got a lot of views on it. It's called The Difference Between Africans and Hebrews. And we did this a while back, so we're still getting views on it. So it's a really good show. And that's like when we were just barely, I was like old school. Before YouTube was popular, we did our local show with that here in Houston, okay? So, what else we got? Any other questions? You.
It says, what is your response to brothers saying the Bible was written by a white man?
That's an easy one. That's real easy. For you brothers that are young and don't have your ammo up, you just got to go show through the Bible who the Bible's talking to. You got to show them Christ is dark. The apostles were called Negroes, right? You know, you got to show them all through the Bible that the Bible don't even say what they're talking about. I was talking to somebody about this the other day about Christianity. You know, he was talking, actually, it was this morning. He was talking about the Council of Nicaea. The Council of Nicaea didn't have an effect on the Bible. This had effect on people in that religion. Because the Bible doesn't teach Immaculate Conception. The Bible doesn't teach Christ was born on December 25th in the midwinter and had a Christmas tree. So the problem is, with us, those are what we call basics, meaning those are easy. And you got to just show them that all the things that Christianity has taught on the Bible is not there. So when you say the Bible is a white man's book, how would it be a white man's book when it tells you in the Bible that Esau, the so-called white man, was the hated of God? Think about it. Think about it. If they understood the Bible, really, they would have got rid of that. You see that? Look, check this out. Songs of Solomon 1 and 5. Go there. And like I said, you can go through all the color scriptures. You know, Revelation 1:13, the color of Christ. They would have took that out like they're trying to do now with the New World Translation, right? They're trying to take this out of the Bible. It didn't burn. He wasn't burned. He glowed. Right. That's what the New World Translation says. If this Bible was written by the so-called white man, he wouldn't have put that in there. He wouldn't have left that in there. Okay? Read that.
Songs of Solomon, chapter 1, and verse 5.
Go ahead.
I am black.
I am what?
I am black.
I mean, what is it that you don't get? Like, if the white man wrote this, he got his own self twisted. Right? I am what?
I am black.
Now, like we did the other day, if you were to go through the list of Matthews and the line of David and Solomon, all the way black up, that would mean that David was black, his father was black, Jesse, Obed, they were black. You see that? So they would have cut that out of there, like they do everything, right? They put up all the pictures and they painted the images white. But there's certain scriptures in here that show that this book was dark-skinned men that wrote it. The Bible was a black man's book. Okay? So yeah. So just showing that. What's the next one? I'm trying to give him an hour of his class. That's what I'm trying to at least give him an hour. We ain't never going to go over it. Go ahead.
It says, when the Lord told the Israelites, behold, this day a blessing or a curse, why Israelites chose the curse over the blessing?
That's a good class. Why? I don't know. Because niggas are niggas. We know why. Because there's a lot of wicked of Israel. Okay? There's a lot of wicked of our people. Not everybody. Let's not get it twisted. Remember, the Most High said he chose certain men from the foundation of the earth. Certain women from the foundation of the earth. So, remember, not all Israel were wicked. there was a certain elect that was righteous, and there was certain that went off and went wicked. So, you know, when you go back to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and go, you know what, just on that one real quick, and I'm trying to give him at least an hour for his class, so that's why I'm skimming over some of these questions. But go to Deuteronomy 32. Let me see here. This is, yeah. 32 and 15, right?
Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 15.
And this is going to give you an idea of why Israel, why certain Israelites did that. Go ahead, read that.
But Jeshurun waxed fat.
Right, so Jeshurun means uprightful one. So we wax fat. We, what? No. We read it again.
But Jeshurun waxed fat.
But what?
Jeshurun waxed fat.
But Jeshurun waxed fat. You understand? Israel got thick. Go ahead.
And kicked.
And what?
And kicked.
And we get kicked. So what the black man do when he get wealthy and successful? He kick back and forget about his people in the hood. He forgets about the Most High. It's going to tell us that. Go ahead.
Thou art waxen fat.
Uh-huh.
Thou art grown thick.
Go ahead.
Thou art covered with fatness.
Yeah, and that's what happened to us. The Most High blessed us. He set us up. He said, you're my chosen. Right? But we waxed fat and kicked. You know how you got that $10 an hour? You swear you on the world.
Oh.
You went from 6 to 10 and you was like, nigga, nobody can tell me nothing.
Right? 401k.
Yeah, you like, right? You start buying you stuff you can't pay for. That's Israel. That's Israelites. You get a brand new car, they get cocky. You get you know what I mean? You get a brand new couch and the nigga just like wilding out on you. It's foolishness. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
We know it's pathetic. But that's why typically the black man, the Hispanic man don't know how to use their finances, right? You know, they don't know how to, they don't worry about those things. You know, they don't worry about 401ks or the future or their kids. You know, now it's becoming more common because Israel is getting entangled with the white man in the nation so much, right? That they're starting to see that it's necessary, right? Because think about it. Back in the days, nobody was talking about, you know, I want to be a billionaire like Jay-Z or Puff Daddy. They were like, let me just get money and splurge. Chains and gold and, you know, and things of that nature, you know. They weren't thinking about success long term. Now, let's not get it twisted. We know a lot of them in the industry, they're still wicked as hell because how they get it, how they got it, and what they're doing with it, okay? But at the same time, pertaining to your question, they still, a lot of our people in the past didn't know really what to do with money. Now people are barely thinking about investing, and it's a small portion. Think about it, it's a small portion that know about investments, that know about the stocks, the bonds, I was looking into that Bitcoin. I was trying to get some information about that Bitcoin, you know, see what's going on. But once again, you know, my father didn't tell me about those things. You know, if I was up on it, if we were up on it, bro, we would have been on Amazon, you know, and invested in Amazon and things of that nature. But we're not taught those things. We're taught, get that little paper and what? Wax fat and kick. Go ahead.
Then he forsook God,
right,
which made him.
Then that's usually what happens. He forsook the Most High. Yeah. Now and that's what happens. You know, we see it all the time in here with the most pettiest things. You get the brother that come in, he's like going through it, sweating. You know what I mean? He's dirty, his hair's all jacked up. He come in as Shalom, man, I need Yahweh. He's speaking in Hebrew. You know, he learned it online. He's like, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And he's come in and then Next you know, he meet a woman in here and you never see him again. Same thing with a sister. You meet, it's like, where did he go? Why? Because Israel's fake. You got a lot of phony ass people in our nation. You know what I mean? They're the ones that, man, I see you, black man. I see you over there struggling, fighting. You know what I mean? I catch you on the flip side. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be there. Yeah, when is it? You're like, you ain't even got a watch on. When was that? Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, I'll see you over there, brother. Like, never see him. Because Israel's phony, man. They're carnal as hell. They're not sincere. Once again, the wicked ones, the foolish ones, right? Not the righteous, because the righteous are going to see the treasure and give themselves to it. But just going back on your question, why did they do it? Because they were foolish, right? Think about it. What man, see if the parable that Christ said, see if the treasure in the field, what does he go do? He goes sell everything he has to get that treasure. So a lot of our people don't see the treasure in the Most High. Why? Who knows why they don't see the treasure in the Most High? Dun, 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 dun. Why don't the Most High see the why they don't see the treasure in the Most High? What? Anything? Anybody? Just, yeah?
Because it comes with sacrifice.
It comes with sacrifice, but they are not what? They're not spiritual. Because they are what? Why? And I don't want to give it to y'all. Why is it so hard for the black man to lock in to the spirit of the Most High in Christ? Why? They're carnal-minded. Right. Why, though? Because they lack what? It's an F word. Huh, class?
Faith.
What class?
Faith.
Say it loud.
Faith.
Faith. They lack faith. And the white man is what? See your check? Got it right here for you. I'm the one doing it for you, right? So they believe in that. Anything that has to be done by faith, they're like, hold on a second. Right? Is that real? Right? They believe a nigga on YouTube talking about the earth and the measurement of the earth and all this stuff quick. But when it comes to the knowledge, it's like, hold on, Why? Because Israel's carnal-minded. So that's going to take us into this class. And I'm going to let him take it over right now.
Nice.
Because that's what the topic he's going over is, Israel being carnal. Okay? And that's our problem. So go ahead. Where we at?
Can I get Matthew chapter 22, verse 1?
Right.
We'll start there. So the class that we're going into, you can title it two ways.
And do me a favor. Make sure you put a time stamp in there. You do it, right? Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can title this class two ways. You can title it the Godhead versus the carnal, or you can title it a real Hebrew versus a Gentile. And the state of mind that makes you a god or a goddess, and the complete opposite of that is just being carnal. The state of mind that makes you a Hebrew and what makes you a Gentile. Because all it is a thought process, right? So read that. Read Matthew chapter 22, verse 1.
And he's like,
No, let him read.
oh, go ahead.
Matthew chapter 22, verse 1. And Yahushua answered and spake unto them again by a parable, and said, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son.
So that certain king is the Most High, Yahweh, right?
Done.
Read. And that certain son, that marriage that he made for his son, that's Yahweh Shai. Read.
And sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding.
So we're called to this wedding. We're called to this wedding that the Most High called us to. You were chosen. You didn't choose this. The Most High chose you. But read.
And they would not come.
But we wouldn't come. It's just like now. Class is going on. Brothers is at home, you're in Houston, but you rather be at home. The marriage isn't important to you. The marriage of the Most High and Yahweh Shai, it's not important to you. So instead of you coming to the marriage, dealing with your spirit, getting your spirit right, you rather tend to the carnal. You rather tend to the carnal things.
Right, and it really, right. That's why I said it's perfect segue into your class, because that person's question, her or him, was asking, you know, why did they choose the other way? Because Israel's carnal as hell. They don't understand that you had to believe in the things you can't see. Because that's what faith is. So what made them carnal? They couldn't see further than in front of their face. They didn't have no foresight to see. Right? Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the garments is going on. The sisters have garments. You're tired. Are you going to tend to the carnal body, your body being tired, you didn't have no sleep? Or are you actually going to say, you know what? Let me tend to my spirit. Let me come to class. Let me come to the garments and put my spirit into the garments and do it. The Most High is going to bless it. Or am I going to tend to the carnal flesh and be tired and give in and go sleep and miss out on something crazy? Miss out on a great time. Miss out on building with a sister. You never know. You could have created a great bond with a sister. You could have learned something new. Right,
but I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be the advocate right now. Because what we have to understand is that really necessary? That's the carnal mind. Like, is that necessary to be spiritual? So they don't know of the Spirit. You don't know the wisdom. You don't know the Word. So they don't know unity is necessary. Brotherhood is necessary. Sacrifice is necessary. So that's what the Spirit is. Everything that Christ went through and showed us how to be, what the fruits of the Spirit are plainly, right? How to act, how to deal, how to think. That is leading us to the Spirit. But a lot of times it's like, well, how is that making me more spiritual? You see that? That's the carnal aspect, right? Like if I do, it's like the wax on, wax off type of deal, right? Well, how is this helping me? Wax on, wax off, right? If anybody's seen Karate Kid, old school, or the new one, he had the jacket. He was putting the jacket on, and he was making him put it on and put it off. The carnal mind is thinking, well, why is that necessary? Yeah. And usually, typically, every time when it comes down to learning the spiritual, you obviously have to do something carnal to reach into the Spirit. Or you're never going to know why that was necessary. So his example was talking about sisterhood and unity. I would never know about sacrifice, about power over the flesh, unless I went in faith and did it. Exactly. And said, you know what? I'm going to try the Spirit, and I'm going to go ahead and put my time into what, you know, in this example, the sisterhood, the brotherhood, put my time into studying and learning, right? Because that's another thing. How many people do that, say that same thing? Well, how much you supposed to study? You know, and they don't study at all. So it's typically them using a reason to say, that's not really necessary, which keeps them carnal-minded. Yeah, I don't see why brothers want me over there. Right? Like we do it a lot. We set up carnal arenas to initiate the spiritual things. Right? So, hey, bro, we're all going to get together and eat. But it's really not to eat. It's really to talk to the brother that ditches out after class every time. Hey, we're letting everybody know what we're doing. It's a trick. You do eat, but it's to bond with you. You see what I'm saying? The sisterhood, the gatherings, the meeting is for that brother or sister that like, hey, shalom, I see you gotta go. You're going like, damn, I ain't even get a chance to talk to this dude. So, and then when you do, it's still, okay, after class you got what, a good 30 minutes and then everybody scatters, right? Well, how do we create that bond and get more close? So you create arenas. But a carnal person always is saying in his head, I don't see why I gotta say it. I don't see why I gotta be over there with y'all. I don't see why I gotta do this. Any arena, they're saying what? That's not necessary.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not necessary for me to be spiritual, but they're the most carnal people. Y'all see that?
God.
So this is why it goes into about the treasure. You know what I mean? Do you got that one in there?
The treasure?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, I don't want to jump ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, I want to take him.
Verse 4. Read verse 4.
Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, Tell them which are bidden, Behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage.
So the Most High has heaven prepared. He said, in my Father's house are many mansions. So you know that this mansion is prepared. You know that heaven is prepared for you. But you got to put in work. You got to put in work to get that. That's the whole goal. That's the whole prize, right? But at the last part it says, come unto the marriage, but we won't go. Read verse 5.
But they made light of it.
We made light of it. We made light of it. That's our problem. That's our problem. We make light of everything.
We wax fat.
We wax fat.
Especially if you got something. You know what I mean? The only time we see a lot of cats is when they don't got nothing.
God.
You know what I mean? But when you got something, you're like, yeah, I'll make it over there. Your brothers do that. Brothers and sisters do that with high holy days.
Right.
They scream all this stuff online about high holy days. Man, you got to keep the laws of the Most High. Like, God, but where you at doing the law? Like, don't you know that it's against the law to not, it was against the law to do it by yourself?
Yeah.
Why am I saying that? Because convocation means what?
Come together.
Gathering. Alright, so y'all, where's that at? Because convocation means holy gathering.
Can't make light of it.
Yeah, but Israel's like, you come into the truth and you don't understand these things, and you're understanding why you're still back in that mode, going back in that carnal mind.
Why you're not progressing.
Right.
But yeah, you make light of it, man. We make light of a lot of things. We make light of study. How are you going to make light of study when it says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord? None of these shall fail. None of these shall want her mate.
I ain't got time.
Seek ye out of the book
Netflix.
of the Lord. I'm tired from work.
Right.
I
Yeah,
got
I'm tired
kids.
from work. Yeah.
There's a game, there's Netflix, there's a series, there's
Right.
a movie,
Right.
Friends, family.
there's workout, there's friends, there's families, there's,
You
There's
got all
so
that,
much.
but you ain't got no time to study.
you know what's crazy? Brothers wake up,
Right.
and before they study, they start doing something else.
There you go. You
They
see
start
him.
doing
You
something
see him flicking on through World Star. You see him on YouTube, laughing and giggling.
It's crazy.
You're swiping on the dating sites for about an hour when that hour could have been you reading or studying.
It's crazy. This is the vocation to where you're called. This is your profession. This is your profession. You have to prove to the Most High why you deserve to be into the kingdom. And we're going through this walk, and we're being quizzed. We're being tested by the Most High, right? He gives us a pop quiz. It's a pop quiz. We don't know when the quiz is coming.
There you go.
But you get quizzed, and because you don't study, you don't know it, so you fail it.
You miss.
You miss. So now you don't study, so you don't have the spirit to show you how to deal with a certain situation when the Most High puts that pop quiz on you. So guess what? You revert to the carnal. You revert to what you know. You revert to what the old man, the old woman knows. You don't know the spirit. So guess what? You fail the test. You fail the test.
You sacrifice for everything else in your life, but your spiritual wellness.
God.
Your spiritual and psychological wellness, and really, what is your biggest problems? Psychological. You want to kill yourself this week. You want to laugh this week. You want to cry within the next moment. You're emotional here. You're psychologically jacked up. But this was supposed to be heal your psyche, but you won't take time. You won't take time to get in the book. You know what I mean? You get in the car with the sister. She's what? Playing some music. Why you ain't playing your audio Bible? You say you don't got time to study, but you don't optimize your time to study. Why you not surrounding yourself with the audio Bible?
God.
Think about it. If you get up in the morning and you don't got time, and your schedule is from what? Give me a work schedule. Come on, give me your work schedule. You always at work.
From like 6:30 to
6:30 a.m.
Yeah, 6:30 a.m. to whenever.
Oh, see, you on that slavery schedule. 6:30 to whatever. Okay, but my point is this: if sisters or brothers got that, well, how do you keep in the spirit? What are you listening to? You know, if you're a delivery, you delivering merchandise and stuff, right? Well, then how do I keep in the spirit? You gotta be using your phone, your computer for audio. You know, whether you're listening to class or listening to the audio Bible. But then even in that, you have to know, you come to class, but even in that, you have to take out time to read a little bit, to stay in the book. Yeah. Now, think about how many of y'all, you can raise your hand right now, you got a million excuses. But your husband can go through and show you no, because when you say you don't have time here, you got time, you were doing this, well, I gotta tend to this, I gotta do this. Well, why you ain't listening to the audio Bible then? Why are you listening to something stupid around your house? You see that? Because what is your treasure? You know, that's a perfect scripture. Go ahead. Oh, no, keep talking. No,
that's good. That's very good. Actually, read it from the top. Read verse 5 from the top. Because you were going into the next part of it. Read verse 5 from the top.
But they made light of it and went their ways.
So we make light of a lot of things and we just do our own thing. Read.
One to his farm.
Some of us, we go to work.
Yeah.
That's all we care about.
Well, I gotta get this work, man.
Work.
Right. I gotta get this work out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what? I'm just not gonna work out? Like, shut up. Mm-hmm. Brothers and sisters do that. Like, job is everything in your life. No, you go to work. But how do you put the Most High first before these things? You got your job first, your woman second, your children third, right? You're fourth, your spirit's last.
Yeah. It shouldn't be like that.
And then you want to know why you're always double-minded, unsure, emotional, and got problems. Because it should be the Most High first, yourself and your spirit second. Because you can't function in this environment and around your kids and family unless you got your mind right.
And you know what's crazy just on that point? You'll know you have something to do for the Most High. You know you have something to do pertaining to the camp. But when work knocks on the door, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to work. You put work before the Most High. That's why it says, read that last part again.
One to his farm.
Yeah, one to your farm. Your farm is where you're gonna get your increase, where you're gonna get your money.
So it goes back to the question that the sister asked. Well, why do they do it? So we got the example. You're supposed to be around the brothers. You're supposed to be around the sisters because y'all were supposed to meet on this day. Overtime or the brothers and sisters? Which one would you take? That's an easy one. That's an easy one, right? That's an easy one. Come on, this was like, I gotta do overtime. Like, it's never your treasure to be like, nah, man, I miss these brothers, I miss these sisters, I miss this work, or I'm gonna go do this. You know what I mean?
It's like overtime or Sabbath class.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
Good. It's crazy. But the Most High, how do you expect to get your blessings? We're trying to fight to make our own blessings. That's what we're trying to do. And we're not believing in the Most High that He's gonna bless you. You don't need that. You don't need that. You're gonna go work over.
That's
when
my
you don't
blessing.
have to.
That's my blessing.
Because you're searching that carnal blessing.
Right.
Because how many of us put overtime in for the spirit?
There you go.
How many of us put overtime in studying? You're tired as hell. It's been a long day. But you can't study. That's where you're supposed to put that overtime in for the spirit. It's like when you're working out. When you finally get tired, that's when the real work starts. Mm-hmm. That's when you're actually making some progress. So it's like you're studying. You're studying, and now you're getting tired. Mm-hmm. Do you stop or do you keep going? Mm-hmm. Do you feed into the carnal flesh or do you plug into the spirit and you keep moving? Mm-hmm. Because you know the Most High is going to bless you. You know the Most High is going to bless you. You're going to learn. You're going to be ready for these pop quizzes. You're going to be able to control your mind. Overtime at your job is not going to help you with your mind. It's not going to help you with your mind. It's crazy, man. Brothers and sisters will wake up and the first thing they do is check their phones. You wake up, before you get out of bed, I hit the snooze, I sleep for a little bit, and then I check my phone. I check Facebook, I check Instagram, I check Snapchat, but I do not read a Psalms. You get up and you do all that, but you don't read the Psalms. You don't tend to the Spirit.
There you go.
You tend to the carnal, man. And you know that these things are distractions, but you don't care. You don't care. That's what it comes down to. That's the root of it. You don't see the importance of it. That's why it says you make light of it. It's not a light thing. This is your spirit. This is your salvation that you're dealing with. It says flesh and blood shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Right. So why do you feed flesh and blood? Why do you feed your flesh? Flesh and blood is not going to enter. Why won't you feed your spirit? Right. Why won't you put off the carnal? Right. Well, read that. Keep it going. Keep when it says one to his farm, pick up right there.
Another to his merchandise.
Another to your possessions. I gotta keep the house. I gotta keep the car. My kids. Most I got your kids. When are you gonna have him? When are you gonna tend to the Most High? And not just tend to your kids. Because when you do that, when you actually tend to your kids, when you actually tend to your possessions, when that becomes the focus, and the Most High is not your focus, he's a jealous God. That's when he takes it from you. That's when he takes it from you. And this actually was not a part of the class. But I read it. When I was studying this morning, the benefits of studying. I was studying this morning and I read it. And I'm reading this and I'm like, damn, this is cold. Yeah. This is it. Jump to verse 14. Same chapter. Verse 14.
For many are called, but few are chosen.
Read it again.
For many are called, but few are chosen.
One more time. Let it sink in.
For many are called, but few are chosen.
So we know many are called, but few are chosen. If you know few are chosen, why do you always give in to your fleshly needs? Why do you give in to your lust? Why do you give in to your pleasures? Why do you give in to the tiredness? Why do you give in to your excuses? Why do you give in to your phone, TV, movies, series, social media, videos, music, drugs, sleep? Why do you not have control over your body? Why do you lack self-control? You know you lack self-control in certain areas, but why do you keep giving into that? Read it again.
For many are called, but few are chosen.
If you are chosen, why do you give in to women? Why do you give in to other books? That's not the Bible. That's not going to help you in your salvation. It's crazy. It's crazy. But let's actually get into the class. Somebody give me Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 27.
Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 27.
There's some more I wanted to hit on this, but
we got an hour.
Yeah, I gotta move.
If you want to get those scriptures out.
Okay. Proverbs chapter 29 verse 27. I'm gonna show you something. So I started it off showing how the Most High makes 2 and 2. There's a big, there's a small, there's a fast, there's a slow. There's a dark, there's a light. There's evil and there's good, right? The Most High makes 2 and 2. So you have the Godhead way of thinking, and you have the carnal way of thinking. Most High said we were gods, but we're going to die like men. Why do you die like men? Because you go into your carnal mind. What separates an Israelite from a Gentile? The Gentiles are carnal, but the Israelites are not supposed to be carnal. We're supposed to be spiritual. So, hit that. Proverbs 29 and 27.
An unjust man is an abomination to the just.
What makes an unjust man an abomination? What makes a wicked man an abomination to the just? The wicked man is carnal. He doesn't give a damn about the spirit. Excuse the language. But the just is always thinking, how can I make myself better? How can I make my spirit better? How can I fix my faults?
How can I help those around me?
Right. Bam. He's not just thinking of himself. He's not just thinking of himself, but the unjust, it's all carnal. What am I doing? What am I going through? What am I suffering? You don't always see how you're a help. When you're stuck in that carnal mind, you don't see how you're a benefit. You don't see how you're a help. You don't see what the Most High is putting you through.
You don't see what he's using you for.
You don't see nothing. You're blinded. That carnal mind, man, it blinds you. Keep reading.
And he that is upright in the way is abomination to the wicked.
So it's saying, the carnal mind should be an abomination to you. You should hate. You should hate every time you open this book to study, you get sleepy. You should hate that. You should hate that you wake up in the morning and you check all this social media, but you don't read the Psalms. You don't pray. You don't say a morning prayer. You don't face the east and pray. You should hate that. That should be an abomination to you. You should hate that you're not progressing. You're not moving forward. You're stagnant. You should hate it, man. But go to James chapter 3, verse 11. Go to James chapter 3, verse 11. Because it says an unjust man is an abomination to the just. Think about it. Think about all those people at your jobs, your family members. You don't hate them, but you hate their ways. Why? Because they're carnal as hell. Nothing is spiritual for them. Nothing at all is spiritual to them. You see them, they go through the same problems, and all their problems is carnal. They go to a carnal method of solving it.
Most of the problems they created themselves.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Through their anger, through their lust, through their doubt, through their pride. You know, at work, they how many people that call me and be like, man, how do you deal with this person at work? Ignore them. But they don't want to. They want to go to back and forth. They want to be bitter and envying and hatred. People think you apply the Bible only when you're sitting in class. But when you go out there in the world, you don't have to apply that. I'm in the world, so I'm going to act like the world. You're supposed to be the separation, the light to the world. Right? And that's supposed to show in your character. Go ahead.
You're supposed to be that example. Read that. James chapter 3, verse 11.
Doeth the fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter?
So when you go to a water fountain, do you get Sprite, like basic water fountain? Do you get Sprite and like some really bitter tea? No. You get one thing. So you cannot be spiritual and carnal at the same time. You can't be walking in the spirit, coming to class, doing all these things, putting in the work, but you're not applying anything. You're still reverting back to your carnal mind. You can't be both. You're supposed to be coming here and actually applying the spirit, applying the things that you learned.
Right, and that's why, you know, whether it's church, whether it's Israelites, you got brothers and sisters still come in with that carnal mind. And it's that church mentality. They're hearers of the word, but not doers.
Correct.
You're not using and changing in the spirit with the fruits of the spirit, right? With the law, with righteousness. So what's happening? You're just sitting here. You got a lot of notes.
The Most High don't deal with that.
Yeah.
The Most High don't deal with that. Go to Revelations 3 and 15. All you're doing is moonwalking. You moonwalk, you don't move. If anything, you move backward. You're walking, you feel like you're moving forward. You're coming to class, you're taking notes, you're participating in everything, but you're not moving forward. You get to a point where you're not moving forward. You're just moonwalking. You're moving, but you're just moonwalking. You either staying stagnant or you're moving backward. But why? You're carnal. You're thinking about carnal things. You're not thinking about the spirit. You're not thinking about, okay, I got negative attributes. I got anger. I got pride. I got lust. I got slothfulness. I got this. I got that. You're not thinking on that and how I can fix that so I can move forward. So I'm perfect. It says your light should shine brighter and brighter until that day.
Yep.
Your light can't stay dim. It can't just get like this and then just stay like that. Your light should be so bright that it's blinding people.
There you go.
It should be so bright that it's like I'm gonna use this example. When I left the truth and I came back, I met Zion. Zion's light was so bright I was like, hell yeah, let's go. Let's go.
It infects you.
Yeah.
You know, but we don't, our people, the first scripture you put was perfect. They take it light. You know, people don't understand this is not a church thing. This is your nationality, your identity, and coming back to who you are. And who you are is supposed to be the light of the world. This ain't got nothing to do with religion. Remember, he said he chose you above all nations that are face of the earth, right? And he said that, and they supposed to see that this is a wise and understanding people, in whom there is no wickedness, no guile, no falsehood.
Yeah.
That ain't got nothing to do with religion. But y'all are still thinking, I got a choice to be righteous. Most High is gonna wipe niggas off the face of the earth. Y'all don't get it. That nothing matters but your spirit. And how can I stand before the Most High and say, hey, this is what I've become? That's all that matters. Everything else has to be secondary. But see, why we're going over this class is because the carnal mind constantly keeps you pushing for carnality. Yeah. Whether it's physical material things, whether it's not seeing where the true treasure is. You see that? So this is the problem, brothers and sisters, not only amongst us, but with our nation. You know what I mean? Remember, I always talk about the law. We think that because we grow a beard or fringes, that now that's it. There's a lot much more you got to put off as a carnal man and a carnal woman. See, but people, they start to get stagnant and they figure, okay, I'm done with pleasing the Most High. I'm here for another reason. I'm here because my buddy's here. I'm here because my rib is here. I'm here because I'm stuck. No, you're supposed to be like, where am I moving at with the Most High? If you were to gauge yourself right now, you were to gauge yourself. Just do this in your head. You don't have to. If you were to gauge yourself, where would you stand before the Most High? Where is your light shining at? You see that? You see how in your mind you're like, I'm not worthy, right? Well, that's good. That keeps you humble. But at the same time, you're still supposed to be moving and showing forth to the Most High that you want to be acceptable, right? And that, you know what? What He has to offer is more than what is carnal here on this earth. Y'all see that? Because when it all comes down to it, you got to die. And when you die, your spirit goes back to the Most High, right? Right? Let's go there real quick. 2 Corinthians 5:1 real quick. Then we'll jump back. Just to show you, man, like what we supposed to be spiritually looking for. Go ahead, read that.
2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1.
Go ahead.
For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved,
right,
we have a building of God.
Right. Remember that building's of the Most High, right? Remember, fear not Him that can destroy the body, but fear Him that can destroy the body and soul. A lot of y'all forget about this. Why? Because you got a job? Y'all got to stop acting like because I'm not acknowledging the word that it ain't going to happen to me. You're going to get smashed. You're doing like Adam and Eve. Like, we're going to hide amongst the trees, and I'm going to be so busy in the world that the Most High ain't going to notice me. He already pointed you out for you to be a son. You understand? He already pointed you out. Out of sight, out of mind. I'm going to hide amongst my job. I'm going to hide doing this and that. But when's the last time you opened your Bible? Huh? Think about it. Sisters, when's the last time you studied? Raise your hand. When's the last time you studied within the summer kind? When's the last time you studied?
It's been a few days ago.
A few days ago?
Yeah. And I was in Acts. I was going through Acts.
Okay.
And then I kind of hopscotch because the scripture will come to my head. I'm like, okay, what's that about?
Right.
I'll go read it and stuff.
When's the last time you studied, Mom Walter? Last night, right? When you read Proverbs, right? When's the last time you studied, sis?
It was 2 days ago. I think it was on Tuesday when I did laundry at your house.
Okay, see? When's the last time you studied? Okay. See, and that's good. But y'all still got to get in the book. When's the last time you studied, sis? Audio Bible. Okay, that's good. But listen, what y'all supposed to be doing is like when we do it, like I'm finna crash because I'm trying to take notes. I'm in my car trying to take notes of the scripture. That way when I go back, I'm reading on it. Because when you get in the book, remember, audio Bible is not supposed to take away your study. What I'm saying is instead of filling your mind with music, fill it with the word, right? But y'all got to keep doing that because that's what's going to keep you spiritual. You understand? That's what's going to keep your mind in the work and doing and growing. That's it, man. Y'all understand that? With the, of course, the application. We're not being naive here, right? The application of it, not just listening to the word, but doing it. Okay, read on. Come on.
And house not made with hands.
Right.
Eternal in the heavens.
Right, and that's, we got to remember, your spirit is eternal. You're not running from the Most High. You're not running from the Most High. This is why we have to build in the spirit. Flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven. You understand? Because your spirit's not going nowhere. You're tough and bad and you can run and hide from the Most High now. But when you shed this flesh, you're going to the Most High. And He's the Father of spirits. You're not running. Go ahead.
Verse 2. For this we groan, earnestly desiring to be clothed upon.
Yeah, because that's what we're fighting for. We're not just fighting for here and now, kingdom and power, rulership and authority on the earth. We're fighting when we stand before the Most High in our spiritual house, that He looks on you and says, my son, my daughter, enter. Right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Which is upon heaven.
Go ahead.
Which is from heaven, I'm sorry. If so be that being clothed, we shall not be found naked.
See, but are you going to be found naked? When your spirit is presented before the Most High, is it going to be light or darkness? Right? Is it going to be light or darkness? Well, right now you're filling your cup. You're filling your cup with light or darkness. We talked about this. I was talking to my Will about this last night. If you take a cup and you just throw foolishness in it all the time, and you go back to that cup, what you going to get out? Foolishness. It works like that. So you got to ask you what you filling your spirit up with. Yep. Think about it. This is what it all comes down to. I don't know what fear y'all have, but with me, this is what I think about. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And so, verse 4. For we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened. Not for that we would be unclothed,
right,
but clothed upon.
Go ahead.
That mortality might be swallowed up of life.
Right. Read.
Now He that hath brought us for the same thing is God, who also hath given unto us the earnest of the Spirit.
Read.
Therefore we are always confident, knowing that whilst we are at home in the body.
So we're at home in this body. We're in the flesh, dealing with the carnal. Go ahead.
We are absent from the Lord.
Go ahead.
For we walk by faith.
But to stay spiritual, we got to walk by what?
Faith.
We got to what?
Faith.
Read.
Not by sight.
You see that? You know what he's saying? You can't walk by around you worried about everything carnal. Yeah. What I see and feel and touch is real, but spiritually, I'm not building up treasures in the spiritual realm. You see? That's why you have to understand that everything right now is temporary. You're not taking it. You came into this world butt naked, crying and screaming. You're going to go out. Some of us are going to go out butt naked, crying and screaming. Go ahead.
Verse 8. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body.
Go ahead.
And to be present with the Lord.
Yeah, because we all want to be present with the Most High. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, death is not, it's not so bad. And I don't want to get y'all in that mind. What I'm saying is that, I was watching something on TV and they were like, he went back to the Lord. And I'm thinking like, that sounds good. You know what I mean? But for those that put in the work, like laboriously, right? we were working. You know, so have you put in work to be able to say, man, and I'm not saying I'm righteous, I'm saying that it just sounds good to be before the Most High. You know, but we want to be found doing in the Most High. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Wherefore we labored.
We what?
We labored.
Read.
That, whether present or absent,
right,
we may be accepted of him.
That's what we laboring for, man. Why are we not feeding in the flesh? Why we don't feed the carnal? Why do we, you know, wake up to studying, counseling, teaching, traveling to teach, traveling to study, counseling, teach, and all these things? Why? Because we know that we're building up treasures in the kingdom of heaven. How many treasures have you built up? I mean, when you come in, the Most High only requires that you what? You start as a babe, right? Babes come in and learn. But like you said, they took it lightly. They don't even go through that process. They don't even go through the process of study. Read.
Verse 10. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that everyone may receive the things done in his body.
Right. And that's why, go to Romans 8:6 real quick. Because it's 8:30. I already know. I know. But go to Romans 8:6. And we'll jump back. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 6. For to be carnally minded is death.
See, because you that are always focused on the things that are done in the flesh, you're carnally minded. So I like it because it went from the sister or brother's question when they asked, well, why did Israel choose the other way? Because they're carnal minded. What they see, what they touch, what they deal with, and that's the only thing that enlightens them. The money, the cash, the cars, the clothes, and all the other things. Right? That's life to them. But that's going to be dissolved. Go ahead.
But to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
Right?
Because the carnal mind is...
But wait, to be what?
But the spiritual mind is life and peace.
Why don't you have peace? Why don't you have a peace of mind? Go ahead. You got there you go. I mean, we only got 30 minutes, so
it's because you're carnal. It's because you're carnal. Right. That's why you have no peace. That's why everything is a fight. That's why there's no joy, there's no gladness. Because you're carnally minded.
You're trying to be joyed in something that's not going to give you joy.
Exactly. I'll read this real quick, just for sake of time. It's Ecclesiastes 15 and verse 16 and 17. It says, He has set fire and water before thee. Stretch forth thy hand unto whether thou wilt. Before man is life and death, and whether him like it shall be given him. So it says, before man is life and death, and whether him like it shall be given him, right? And in verse 6, Romans 8 and 6, it says, for to be carnally minded is death. So this Most High gave you a choice.
Yeah.
You can be spiritual, you can follow him, or you can be carnal minded.
Right.
And to be carnally minded is death. So a lot of times when you're wondering, why am I not at peace? Why is my mind so messed up? Why can't I sleep? Why can't I rest? Why am I kicking against the pricks? Why is nothing coming easy for me? It's because you're carnally minded. You have no peace. Read verse 7, Romans 8 and 7.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against God.
So it's enmity against the Most High.
Right.
So he's not allowing peace. Remember, the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace.
Oh, he's a man of war.
He's a man of war. Satan's the author of confusion, but the Most High is the author of peace. So when it says because the carnal mind is enmity against God, it's because the Most High ain't rolling with you. Because he's not rolling with you because you chose not to roll with him. You chose to roll with Satan. You chose to roll with your own mind. So guess what? You're not at peace. Read verse 7, second precept. You might have to jump.
For it is not subject to the law of Yahweh, neither indeed can be.
Go ahead.
Right, just on that point, he's not subject to the law of Yahweh because the law is spiritual.
Wow.
So if you're performing the law, you're in the spirit, right? And usually the carnal man doesn't want to do the things that constrain him, that controls him, that guides him and imprisons him, you know, to a structure or order, a life. And that's why a lot of times people come into truth and they feel what? Constrained, controlled. They feel like they're losing something. They are. You are losing. You're losing the carnal person. See, because the carnal man takes glory in wealth, right? Takes glory in having things. Takes glory in your shoes or your clothes, right? What is it that you take glory in that's carnal? Raise your hand real quick. We ain't got time. Carnal things. What you got?
Reputation.
Reputation. The rep. You know what I mean? I'm such and such at the work. You know what I mean? So I get up and I live every day for that. Why? Because there I'm somebody. I come to the camp and what? I'm humble. Yeah, nigga, you the president at your job. You a trooper here. You know what I mean? Right? Humility. And some people, I like that, rep. Some people, that's how they function in life. They have to have that place and structure or else they're what? Yeah, if they bust it down to trooper duty, or they were like, no, we got to move you down from you were the manager, now you got to fall under this person. That's when you get negative. Why? Because you're carnal. You're carnal minded, right? What else? Come on, give me some more. What other some carnal things? I'm a wanna.
Shoes.
Yeah, sisters beyond shoes, brothers beyond shoes, like to where they feel left out if they don't got it. They feel like there's something that I'm missing. I need those shoes. All right, give me some more.
Oh, I was gonna say just on the shoes part. They do that so much in school. if you're a boy and you're not wearing J's or Nikes, you're not wearing anything.
Right. What is some carnal? What?
Like electronics.
Electronics. You into you know, I gotta have the new. You know, if it's got Note 10, iPhone Infinity and beyond, I gotta have that. What else, sis? Back there.
Your appearance, hair.
There you go. Your appearance. A lot of sisters are into that. Like, you know, I gotta look a certain way. I gotta put off this certain persona. That's carnal. That's carnal. That's why I go back, jump from there, go to Romans 8. You're back in Romans 8?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go ahead, read that.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 8.
Right. Go ahead.
So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God.
See? They can't please the Most High. You can't, think about it. Let's think. You're at war with the Most High.
Yeah.
You can't please the Most High. Who the hell do you think you are? How do you think you're going to survive in this society? Now you see why the world is in so much pain. Because America gave them a dream, and what? They're running with it. What's the dream? White picket fence, a house. And if I don't have that, I'm not whole as a human being. You know what I mean? Read a little history, and you see that the vision that America gave us, it wasn't theirs to give. Land is not, you weren't supposed to buy land. That was freely given. The Native Americans weren't walking around buying land. What the I've been reading all these books, and you see that they pitched up, and you know what I mean? But when the white man came over to America, then it was like, nah, we gotta own this. We gotta have this. You understand? Huh?
It's ours now.
Yeah, it's ours now. You know, it was a theme, man. Even with Israel, when Israel said you want a king, they messed up.
Yep.
Most High was like, I'm your king, I'm your God. They was like, no, we want a king like the other nations. Okay, you gonna get a king, and everything you own is gonna go to him. All this and that is good, right? We messed up then, but originally you were supposed to go out in the field. You make that your home, you farm that land, and you live righteously off the land.
Yeah.
Now we're slaves because you wanted the carnal. So he's like, you're at war. and everything in your life is your second thought, even in the spirit of the Most High, what's your second thought? But I gotta pay that light bill. You know what I mean? Even now, as we're going over the carnal things, you're like, so what you saying, I can't have new shoes? No, we're not saying that. We're not saying you can't have the new iPhone. What we're saying is that, what is your life based on? Is your motivation, are you motivated for that? And how do you know that? Because you're not adding to your spirit.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect. It's like, where should your mind be? Where's your mind really at? Is your mind on the growth of your spirit, or is your mind on the growth of you? And when I say you, I mean like you said appearance. No, I was likening it to, if your mind is on the Most High, your growth is on the spirit. Your growth is on purging the old mindset, purging the old ways, the old man. But if your mind is not on that, it's on yourself. It's on your carnal. It's on my appearance. It's on what I'm wearing. It's on what I'm doing, what I'm driving, how my house is looking, my bills, this, my job, everything else.
And then you want to get a little deeper into the mind. You start to go into the carnal thoughts and pride.
Yeah.
How do you know you're carnal? Because pride is in you, right? Remember, we talk about the fruits of the spirit and the fruits of the flesh, right? So now you start getting more prideful, right? We know lust is there because you want the carnal things, but then now you start getting more doubtful. Why? Because if you can't see it, if it ain't there physically, right? You see how you destroy your own self? Watch, read on in there.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh. Go ahead, let him get it.
But ye are not in the flesh,
Right?
but in the spirit.
Right? Well, you know what he's saying, right? He's saying, y'all supposed to be in the spirit. You're supposed to be letting the Most High guide your thoughts. Letting the Word guide your thoughts. Go ahead.
If so, be that the spirit of Yahweh dwell in you.
Go ahead.
Now, if any man have not the spirit
Uh-huh.
of Hamashiach,
What verse are you at?
I'm on 9.
Go ahead.
He is none of his.
Right. Go ahead.
And if Hamashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin.
Okay, go ahead, Doc. Where you at? That was it on that.
Yeah, jump to Colossians chapter 3, verse 1. Colossians chapter 3, verse 1. Now we're going to go into where your mind should be.
Colossians chapter 3 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
If ye then be risen with Christ, seek those things which are above.
So you're not seeking after the carnal when you're risen with Christ. You came into the truth. You learned who you are. You learned what's going on. You learned about the spiritual fight. Your eyes are awakened. So now you're risen with Christ. You're trying to be risen with Christ. So you're seeking after everything that's above. You're not seeking about nothing carnal. Nothing carnal should even come to your mind. Because you know the Most High has you. He's going to take care of you. Keep reading.
Where Christ sitteth on the right hand of God.
Go ahead, verse 2.
Set your affections on the things above.
Your cares, your pleasures, what brings you joy, what makes you happy, your treasure, it should be on the things above. And what's some of the things that are above? We take part in it here. I mean, if you're a sister, your affections, your care, it should be about coming together with the sister. Cooking on a feast day. Doing garments, teaching a sister how to do garments. If you're a brother, if you're a new brother, it should be coming around the other brothers. Let me learn so I can grow, so I can better myself, so I can do the same for the next man. That's where the mindset should be. That's that. When it says set your affections on things above, that's what should make you happy. That's what should sway you. Mm-hmm. That's what should make you that's what should make you sad or happy. That's what really should play with your emotions. Not the carnal. Not the carnal. Your emotions should be based off of the things that are above.
Right. Can I get one right with that?
Oh.
Galatians 5:22. Galatians 5:22, real quick. So set your affections on high. Right? Con?
Con.
Class?
Con.
Con.
Go ahead.
But the fruit of the Spirit is love.
Is what?
Is love.
So, what is the love of the Most High? You understand? If I'm setting my affections on high, how do I fall in love more with the Most High? In righteousness, in holiness. Right? It's love. It's not that the Christian love, you walking out there and birds are flying around your brain. What is the love of the Most High? You understand? If I'm going to set my affections on high, do I really know what the love of the Most High is? Because a lot of people don't. We talk about this subject a lot. You don't know that somebody loves you when they're correcting you. You don't know that somebody loves you when they're there for you, constantly in your head and telling you. You don't know that's true love. Because your love and the way you think is carnal. How do we know? Because spiritually, the Bible says a true brother is there when you fall to warn you, right? Go ahead.
Joy.
Right, joy. So now, joy in what? In the fruits of the Spirit. In the duties and service that the Most High chose me for. Right? That's what we're supposed to be setting our affections on high. Go ahead.
Peace.
What?
Peace.
How do I get true peace? First of all, I got to know what real peace is and what way it comes. You don't know peace, and you swear, oh, I need some peace. I need some peace. You're never going to be in peace because your carnal understanding of what peace is, what the white man told you, America told you, your brain told you, your mama told you. You don't know what peace is. People don't, y'all thinking this is, listen, if we had enough time, we can go through a peace class. It's that crazy, is that you don't know what peace is. You don't understand that peace is, first of all, being in order with the Most High. You're not going to have peace if you're at enmity with God. If you're at war with the Most High, you're going to be in trials and tribulation and persecution. But when you're in order with the Most High and doing what's pleasing Him, then you can have real peace. Then you want to talk about the peace of mind, the spiritual mind, right? Not loving the things of the flesh, because the things of the flesh is not going to bring you peace, right? I mean, we can go over a whole class just on peace, right? Joy, peace, what?
Long suffering.
What?
Long suffering.
Wait a minute, the fruits of the Spirit is what?
Long suffering.
So I got to set my affections on high. The fruits of the Spirit is long suffering, and I don't want to deal with these niggas. That's not long suffering. I don't want to deal with this person. But the fruits of the Spirit is long suffering. That shows how carnal minded you are. It's little scriptures like this that we look back and be like, how do you know this person is carnal? Because they ain't got these little attributes. They're confused, they're double-minded, they're unstable in all their ways, they're unpeaceful, they're asking the same question on the scriptures that we went over 75,000 times because they're not at peace with themselves to have clarity and look at the scriptures and see it. So why? They're still battling. There's no peace, there's confusion, there's chaos. But with the Most High, there is peace, joy, long-suffering. Go ahead.
Gentleness.
Yes, gentleness is a fruit of the Spirit. How you deal with others, which we all got to apply, right? Get better at being gentle. Read.
Goodness.
Right? Read.
Faith.
Right? We don't know what goodness is, man. Oh, he's a good person. Oh, he was such a good guy. Why? What made him good? Christ said none is good, right? With the Father which is in heaven, right? So what the hell made this man the good man? Right? But goodness is showing you the characteristic that surrounds you. But you're not worried about those things. Why? Because you're worried about riches, money, getting, having, those things. And that's why you're in turmoil, hurt, and pain, and suffering. Come on now. If what we're talking about is not the mind of most of our people in this society, why they sling dope? Because they think that's the only way they can make it through life is selling dime bags. Right? Oh, the only way she can make it is what? Stripping. You know how many people really believe that? Yeah, because they don't have no real peace. Because all their, they got to have the $1,000 shoes. You know what I mean? You talk about Pampers. I got to buy my baby Pampers. Nigga, there's people on welfare that can buy their baby Pampers. They don't got to be in the strip club. Right? Come on now. But that's the mind. Go ahead, read.
Faith.
Read.
Meekness.
It said what?
Faith. Meekness.
Faith. You see that? Huh? What else?
Meekness.
Meekness. The fruits of the Spirit is being meek. We got to have our affections on high. Which one of you are waking up, man, saying, damn, I got to be more meek? Yeah. How many times has my husband told me I'm not meek enough? How many times has this brother said, you're going through a lot of situations because you got a lot of pride? You know what I mean? You come in class 1 minute, you're asking about how to deal with your brain, and the next minute you arguing about something you think you know. How does that work? If you don't know how to psychologically heal yourself mentally with this word, but you think you know the precepts, that don't make no sense. You can't heal your own mind with this word, but you want to argue about you know some other precepts? Because if you're skilled, then you would know how to use this word to move through everything and heal and deal with everything. Right? Your senses would be exercised, like the scriptures say. But people ain't fighting to be the things in the spirit. They're not saying, man, you know what? Today, I'm going to work on my meekness. Y'all want to go on fast? Fast from pride and ego and thinking you know every damn thing. That means our setting our affections on high. Go ahead. Come on.
Temperance.
Temperance. Oh, which is one all Israelites got to have. Because that one goes back to long suffering. Remember, this is the spirit, right? This is opposed to us being carnal-minded, right? Read.
Against such there is no law.
Right. You know why? Because you are in the spirit. When you're moving in these ideas and thought process, there is no law. You don't need to be reminded, hey, sis, you're carnal-minded. Because you're moving in the law. Go ahead.
And they that are in Hamashiach have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts.
There you go. They that are in Christ crucify the flesh. Well, what part of the flesh? Jump to verse 19.
Now the works of the flesh are manifest. Which are these? Adultery.
Right. So sleeping around with somebody that is not yours, right? Go ahead.
Fornication.
Right. Now, you thought we was going to go through these and be like, see, I don't commit adultery. Fornication. What is fornication? Because he already hit adultery, right? But what is a fornication? So he ain't saying the same thing again, sleeping around. What is he saying? A lot of things that Israelites do that don't want to admit to it. They put something before the Most High, idolatry, and go sleep with some other idea, some other doctrine, except what the scriptures say. You do it daily. Like I said the other day, you sit on Netflix and say, see, I like that mind state. Oh, man, that's really smart. And what? Whose standards that smart? Whose standards is they're good? Or that is the mind state? Right? You ever do that? You ever sit down and watch Netflix and then you hear somebody say that like, yeah, this person, it's like what standard are you talking about? Like, that's carnal as hell. But that shows you how easily you're influenced. That's fornication. You want to jump to this mind state, this mind state. How about, what's the Spirit say about that? Well, you don't have to go to scriptures for everything. Yeah, you do, because you're carnal as hell. Because you think you know what a good person is, what a right person is, what a righteous person is, but you won't even go to the Bible to understand about yourself. That you will jump from every mentality and idea except the idea of the Most High. Watch, read on.
Uncleanness.
Right, read.
Lasciviousness.
Yeah, that we talked about that lust. We don't have to go over that again. That deep, strong lust. And it can get into sexual, deep, defile things, right? Go ahead.
Idolatry.
There you go again. You want to put something up before the Most High. You want to put something up before the Creator. Huh? And that's what he said. You wake up to what? Your phone. You don't even pray. The first damn thing you do is roll over to the phone. You won't even pray.
I have a question on that point.
Yeah.
When you wake up in the morning, at what point do you think about the Most High?
There you go.
When does the Most High come into your mind?
There you go.
Is
No,
it when,
I'm gonna be late. I got time for the Most High.
yeah, but when does that actually? When does that thought hit your mind?
It doesn't, because I wake up. I gotta get my coffee. Hold on first. Oh, damn, they already hitting me up. Damn, job's on my mind. Job is jizzing on my mind. It's jizzing on me in the morning. Why? Why? Because the Most High's not in me. The Most High's not in my brain. Y'all got to think about it, man. You give so much to these carnal things. But at what point? Think about it. At what point? Huh? That's the first thing you do when you get up. Do you pray? Raise your hand. You see? You see how many of us? You understand? Why? But let me ask you this. When your boss hits you up and your job hits you up, what's the first thing you wake up over to? That's why I said, they talk about the mark of the beast. Nigga, the mark of the beast is rolling over to your phone like, yes, Lord. It is you. Speak to me. That's the beast. You're talking about the mark of the beast. Niggas got the mark right now. They don't understand, man. They waiting for a chip. They gonna play you for a doozy. The chip ain't gonna come out. Watch. You know they said the chip was gonna come back out. What is it, 2015? They were talking about the chip in the hand. Never came out yet. So everybody's waiting for this chip. And nigga, you think like the beast. You act like the beast. You walk with the beast. You support the beast. And you talking about, no, I ain't got the chip. I ain't with the beast. Stop it. But you got to think about these things, man. Idolatry. We put these things before the Most High. When your health, your life, your spirit, you should be thinking like that. And yes, we all forget. You know what I mean? We in the rut. You know, you're moving late in the morning. But, damn, you ain't even going to pray when you get in the car. You ain't even going to pray when you get into work, go in a closet, go in a bathroom and face the east and say, Yahweh up the water for letting me get home safe. Why does Israel always want to cry afterwards when something bad happens? Stop calling me and crying. Help! Help! But like, no. Were you crying for help when Jesus was telling you pray? You understand? That's how I think. I'm like, it's too late to cry. You understand? But we're stop it. But the flesh, we don't think about these things. We just go every day till something happens to us. Go ahead, read. Come on, finish.
Witchcraft. Hatred.
Right. Witchcraft. What?
Hatred.
Hatred dwells in us. That's the flesh. That's carnal. Go ahead.
Variance.
Variance. What is variance? You know how we know brothers and sisters are carnal and you're not spiritual and we don't got to pay attention to your madness? Because you be the one at variance with everything. Sisters, where are we going? Oh, I don't want to do that. Brothers, what we doing? I can't be there. I don't want to do that. Why you got to be that? What? It's like, you just oppose everything. Everything. You ain't going to even be like, you know what? I'll ride with that. You know, you just have variance. You think that's the spirit of the Most High? No, that's carnal. Because when your job does it, what happened? You flash. Go ahead.
Emulations.
Right, emulations. But what are you emulating? Right?
It's not the Most High.
Right. The carnal. Go ahead.
Wrath.
Right? And how many, once again, why are you not at peace? Why do you have so much wrath in you? Some of y'all, man, y'all could probably strangle the hell out of somebody if you would just, the little slight touch, you would snap. Right? Think about it. Think about that one person. Close your eyes. Think about that one person that right now, if that person says something, you would just what? I can't deal with it. Why? That's in you. Because you're carnal as hell. You're carnal minded. And you want to know why you don't have the spiritual attributes. Because you got to deny the carnal. You got to deny it. Go ahead.
Strife, seditions.
Right. It says strife, uprising. You're strifeful. That's carnal. You're always striving with somebody. Everything is an argument. Everything is a fight. Right? You know what I mean? You got that in households. Everything is an argument. Everything is a fight. You got that with brothers and sisters. Why? Because you're carnal. Everything is an argument. Everything is got to be a battle. Carnal mind. Go ahead.
Seditions.
Right? Seditions. Which is what? Uprising. And that's where we get that. Every time somebody want to come in and come in and tell us what the hell we need to be doing. You've been in the truth a year, a week, and you swear you know what you're going to do. You swear you know. You want to uprise for what? You don't know. Seditions. What else?
Heresies.
Right. There you go. And then it comes heresies. Read.
Envyings.
Envying. In all these attributes, if you sat back and looked at yourself, you would see, damn, wait a minute, I'm a carnal person. I'm a carnal individual. He made it simple. Take the fruits of the Spirit and the attributes of the flesh and write them down. And see how much carnally your brain is locked in to these things. Go ahead.
It's like murderers.
Right.
Drunkenness.
Right. They're what? They're what? Now you think you're Olivia Pope. Every time. Scandal. Right? Every time we see you, it got to be with a glass of wine. Why? Because you learned from Netflix. Because every series on Netflix, Supergirl has it too. Scandal has it too. Everybody has to what? Sit there with a cup of wine. Now they get it in your head. You gotta what? The only way you make it today as a woman is what? Get you a glass of wine. Because that's your God. I be like, man, I look at people are pathetic. Pathetic. Because you're letting the carnal rule you, but if somebody said, listen, you know what? Fast. Well, I don't want to. Sorry. Right? You don't want to fast, but what? You'll grab that bottle of wine quick. You know what I mean? Oh, man. What's that? I had a hard day. You go to that wine. You go to that liquor. Brothers and sisters. Carnal. Because there's no peace. You got wrath in you. You got envy in you. You got hatred. Why? Where you at? Read that real quick. We got to touch this real quick.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 5.
Go to Colossians 3 and 5. We got to go here real quick.
I'm sorry, that's a must. Nah. That's beautiful.
Colossians
chapter 3 and verse 5.
Go ahead.
Mortify, therefore, your members.
Do what?
Mortify, therefore, your members.
How many of you are ready to mortify your members? Mortify meaning what? Huh? To kill. How many of you are ready to mortify those attributes within yourself? Raise your hand if you want to mortify the deeds of the flesh. Come on, let me see it. I want to see the oath. Everything is an oath with the Most High. That way he looked down. Remember when you raised your hand in class? And they was going over the scriptures? And you was like, and you really didn't want to? You was just saying, I'm just going to do it to do it? You got to stop with all that phony crap, man. The Most High is watching you. If you want to mortify the deeds of the flesh, then work on it.
Go ahead.
which are upon the earth.
Uh-huh.
Fornication.
Right. There you go. It's Romans 8. Yeah, we'll go back there. It's what?
Fornication.
So what are we mortifying? We're mortifying fornication. Read.
Uncleanness.
Read.
Inordinate affection.
Read.
Evil concupiscence.
Read.
And covetousness.
Right. Now hold that. Jump over to Romans 8
in verse 13.
Yeah, I know it was in Romans 8. I was looking, I was like, where is that? Go ahead.
For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die.
Read.
But if ye through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body,
you gotta mortify that old niggerate. The old nigglets. You understand that? He's carnal, she's carnal. She moves off the flesh, she thinks carnal. He thinks carnal.
Yeah.
We got to kill those things. But this is a lot of time why a lot of battles come. Where is envy and striving among you? Are ye not yet carnal? A lot of these things come from the carnal mind. Go ahead.
Mortify the deeds of the body.
Go ahead.
Ye shall live.
Read.
For as many are as led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God.
Right. You got to destroy the deeds of the flesh. Now, if you're asking me again, Kazaki, what are the deeds of the flesh? You missed it. You missed it. It's all these attributes. You understand that?
Yes. On that point. And this verse 6, back in Colossians 3 and 6.
For which things sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience.
So if you don't mortify the carnal, the most High will mortify you. So,
but that's why we're cursed.
Yeah.
Right?
Kind.
That's why our people are in the condition we're in, because, like I said, it's crazy. Back to the question the brother or sister had, they want to know why we chose those things, because they're carnal. But what did those carnal things do to us? Brought death. You see how the Bible doesn't make it, it's not mystical. I gotta be in the spiritual, and you gotta be floating, then I'm in the spirit. No. You know what you gotta do? Cut out the anger and wrath and envy and hatred. You don't have to be floating. You understand? Yeah, it's very easy, but it comes back down to, are you meek? Do you have the fruits of the Spirit? Because to do all that, you have to have a fruit of the Spirit, which is meekness. You got to be meek enough to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm carnal as hell. That's why I hate. That's why I got a lot of wrath. That's why I don't want to suffer long. That's why, you know what? Every movie and every series and this comes up, I gather wisdom from that, but you never see me open up the Bible. You're gathering wisdom from all these carnal things, but guess what? Where'd you open up the Bible and get the wisdom? I mean, we can keep going on and on and on. It's 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, no.
Y'all got any questions on that? No? Somebody gotta have a question on that. Any questions? How about the children? No questions? All right, we'll wait for questions online. And while we're waiting for questions online, listen, I want to remind all you brothers and sisters that do watch us. We do need help with the Passover. And we're asking if you want to give any alms, any offerings to help out. All right? Closed mouth don't get fed, so we decide to ask. And if you want to help out, we would appreciate it. Because for the Passover, we got to get the location, got to get the lamb, got to get the food, and all that stuff. All right? So what we got?
This brother said, Albert, he said, you cut me through the white meat to the bone. My flesh is dead now. Spiritually awoke behind these teachings from these Israelites. He also said, y'all sword are too sharp. Wicked that's on me getting cut off by these brothers.
Yeah. Thank the Most High. Thank the Most High. So we'll wait a few seconds
Do we got any? Oh, just another announcement. While we got everybody, we got a few of y'all on there. Remember, Hanukkah is coming up on December 11th and 18th. We are going to be celebrating Hanukkah during, after work hours when everybody can get together. So we're not going to be having class. So if you look for us online, we got a lot of old classes on there, but we're going to be celebrating Hanukkah during that week. All right? The 8 days. So if you don't see us, don't panic. We'll be back after Hanukkah. All right? And if you want to come join us for Hanukkah, feel free. Get a hold of us. My number is 281-707-2737. All right? So, we're going to get together and celebrate. All right? Otherwise, does anybody have anything on there? Did anybody hit us up yet? All right, we'll wait a few more seconds to see if anybody has any questions. And if not, we'll go ahead and conclude class. We'll be here Sabbath morning class at 10 o'clock. Really good class. We've been really having really great Sabbath classes. A lot of information been coming out. Class has been packed on the Sabbath too. It's been getting more brothers and sisters coming to Sabbath. So if y'all interested, check us out online in the morning. Nothing? No questions? All right, salute them, everybody. Say shalom.
Shalom.
All right, and we'll see y'all tomorrow morning.